What's good, Lord? I'm just prepping everything that we would need last minute as we do here. The microphone's at my left cheek, so I might be sounding like I'm in the right of your ear, which is odd, but hey. Okay, so we got the first person Ellen Ring thing, we got Wayfinder, which is first, and then we got that, and then we got the Zenless Strand.
Minor story research.
We got the Zenless thing just to go in the background. Fun. Gameplay. Give me something, there it is. Nope. Maybe this. Yes, alright. Got it. There we go. When you hush something, it genuinely becomes quiet. You don't know this. Why am I coughing? I was fine the whole day, and as soon as we start streaming, I start coughing. It's not cool. Not cool. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh God, there. Be right back. I'm actually right here. I just have to turn on my fan because I know I'll overheat because it happens every stream, and I have yet to learn. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get coffeeed up before we can really dive into this. But I think we're basically missing one thing, one game for us to play. And I'll be honest, we kind of nailed most of the prep in the previous streams because I just brought it up when we were kind of mid doing something, and you guys, gave good answers. So yeah. All right, let me drink some coffee and then we'll get into it. But this is, I'll explain the plan when hopefully some people come in here. But how has y'all's days been? Your weekend extraordinaire? Hopefully it's been fun. I've been deep into this damn manhwa that Bolty sent me, which was basically this. It's about like a berserker, but it's like, can you think? Let me ask the person, Lone, who's here. What is one of the best names for a berserker-like class? Just a berserker guy. Just like his backstory is he's fated to become like this ravaging berserker in a fantasy game. What is the perfect name for him to possess? Lo says, my day's been great. Getting after it when it comes to Nikita. And there is a second anniversary that's live today on Nikita as well. Hot damn, you've been eating good then. You were just bathing in too much content, man. I hate when that shit happens, honestly. And I know it's bad because, like, I mean, my younger self would be like, come on, man. We're going to have so much fun playing so much stuff. We have so much time. And now as an adult, you're kind of like, man, when they just keep updating game after game, and you're like, I guess it's also because sometimes the update's ass. Sometimes you're like, it's whatever. It's something to do, I guess. I think mobile games probably don't fall into this category. I think my issue is that I also play like full-on games. Perfect name for berserker person. So not the class, but Lone, what is a name that's just like, it's almost like it's like if you gave this person the name, it would just automatically be locked in. The scheduled time for this stream threw me off. It was, I didn't change it properly. Oh shit, sorry. Sorry, I must have not known. I must have not toggled it or some shit. I don't know why that happened. But give me a name that's just like this person. It's like if you gave your child this name, he is like bound to be a UFC fighter who's just fucking like cracking heads. You know what I mean? It's like one of those. I think this manhwa nailed a name of berserker, and it's also like, I'm probably not saying it right, so thank God Bolty's not here, so he can't cringe because I'll say it and he'll be like, no, Grin, it's pronounced this way. And I'm like, oh well, I pronounce it this way, and it sounds cooler to me in that way. But yes, we have 3 of the games that we have picked. I will show you guys in a moment. I have the gameplay lined up so we can kind of give a little deep dive into what we can expect. This is the IGN Wayfarer gameplay, which I imagine is just going to be, the best unveiling of this game possible. High skill, all that. Yeah. Also, what's good, Fluff? How are you, my boy? Yes. I'll be honest. The whole stream, I thought we were like gonna prep for the stream and like talk it out, but I think we got most of the shit done. Besides having to decide on one more game, and we're streaming at 3 p.m. Most people were cool with that. Yeah. We have a lot of the stuff planned out already, basically. And yeah. I don't have many more questions besides just like work on my end to like look at how to bring these ideas into reality, i.e. how to like make Elden Ring a first person mod happen, like how to install that without melting everything. Also having to account for like not a miserable time, so like how it would be cool if we also downloaded a mod for Elden Ring that also let me like increase my health, because we're playing it in first person, which is cursed, and I imagine it's gonna be like 10 times harder. What's good, Derp? How are you, Derp? It's been a hot minute, Derp. I see you still popping off. I see you just made a video on something. I didn't see the whole video. I just kind of swam by. I was like, Turp is getting after it. I love it. Then I went back to editing because I'm a freak. But yes. So all I have to do is basically prep all the streams for the month of streaming, which is going to be probably a lot. Honestly, we stream 3 days a week, but we've done a lot of streaming before. But I don't think it's like, I think it's, at a certain point, it's going to become a little bit of a marathon sprint for me. Like, where like we've done a week of like playing God of War for 2 weeks, I think, straight. I don't know if we ever did a month full clip going, you know, but we'll be fine. We'll be okay. I'll suffer through it for two. I shouldn't say suffer through it. I'm just like, I know there's going to be a time where like for me, I like to be kind of high energy on the stream. And I'm going to be like, at day 8, be like, oh guys, I'm so fucking tired. But maybe not. Maybe I'll just juice myself up with all kinds of coffee and gamer subs and all. Also, by the way, check this shit out. This is a thing. Once again, Gamer Subs has not sent me back any confirmation email about being a partner, which, you know, bastards. But anyways, there's some cool stuff. I mean, it's kind of okay. I'll be honest. Yeah. We're kind of really going into the unknown right now of like just clicking without a second thought. Is this, yeah, it's only a 1-cup side. I mean, you do get a cool emblem, but I'm not sure anyone who would pick the Gamer Subs logo, this, you know, outside of an actual piece of art. But it's kind of cute. Little, like, vampire type thing. I'll be honest, it's kind of mid. I do like that they're playing around where it's like a dark elf, I think. It's either a dark elf or a vampire or just a black vampire, which is just weird. I've never seen that before in my life, but cool concept, I guess. And then we have this one, which, oh boy, is there one that's not? That one might not be allowed to be shown, because that is just enough cheeks for you to be like, you know what? Chill, Bubba. And I'm like, that's fair. But yeah. Oh, also, this is fire. There's a Hobby VR channel who I greatly enjoy. He has his whole weird cup called Brain Polish. It's significantly less grotesque. His first cup was like violently provocative, where like this fucking wearing like a bikini, and it's also like drawn like she's super thin, so it looks a little like, oh god. It just makes it look a little more jarring. But she's shooting a smooth brain. I'll be honest, the next gamer cup I get or whatever the hell, I want it to have this little kind of honeycomb design, because this fucking weird dumb mesh nonsense does nothing. Does absolutely fucking nothing. Anyways, is it hurting your eyes because it's so bright? It's so bright. We also have Swagger Souls popping off. Swagger Souls' cups been honestly pretty crap. They just have not been very like detailed, which I tend to like the detailed work, you know. Anywho, enough about, you know, women on plastic containers. Okay, but yeah, I got nothing. Rokin, or is it Rokin or Rockin? I think it's a Rokin. Which is this goddamn name. It's the fucking Berserker manga that I've been reading, but it's just like the way it's like his name in every fucking video game he ever plays. And it's just, and maybe it's the character, they do such a good job, but like this is, if you were to distill a Berserker down to its like very fundamental powder, bang, this main character hits. And you're just watching him be like a menace for far too long.
Lone Syndicate said, how the hell was I supposed to get that?
No, you're not supposed to get it. You were just supposed to like tell me any name that you thought would be like a badass Berserker name. Maybe like I don't know, Ragnarok would be, it's kind of not, it's like, right, it's like a specific thing, but Roken is just like, it's just enough of like rock, it's like rock, it's literally rock, but then rock and roll as well, like rockin' and then rock, and it's just Roken. It's just, I don't know why, it doesn't sound as cool when I say it, which makes me think it's a lot of heavy lifting based on the story, but, okay, it's awesome, okay? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Some sort of weird Norse nonsense. Jurgen, something. Yeah. Cat's got it. That's what I was looking for. Just give me any name that, like, even it got in the same realm. Also, Fluff says, so do we have each week figured out? Okay, so this is our plan that I have thus far. So, I have...
Lone Syndicate said Grave.
Grave? Grave as a name? Grave's not there, bro. I was going to say, so this is a plan. Also, forgive me if I have spelling errors because I'm the worst. Anyways, so we have these. This is our plan. So the first week of the stream, which is going to be going into leave, whatever that is. Notification, whatever. Anyways, point is, we're going to basically be starting Thursday, and we're going to be streaming Monster Hunter Wild. And then we're going to be doing that until the beta ends, which is on Monday, which is the 4th. Then we're going to be transitioning to Wayfinder, playing that for the whole week. We're always going to take off Sunday. So we're not going to be doing like streaming every day. We're going to take off Sunday because I needed time to actually make content for Mind Palace of Madness. But, yeah, what do you call it? I'm still technically like making content. So it's not like I'm like, oh, it doesn't count. I'm still doing it. I'm still making you something is what I'm trying to say. Then for the second week, we're going to do Elden Ring first-person mod. Also give me like a blanket of time.
Lone Syndicate said, should I buy these games?
No, well, maybe Wayfinder if you wanted to play with us. I do believe that one's cross-play, but Fluff will have to back us up on that. But yes, that one is also for PS4, but we're going to watch gameplay of it right now, so maybe if it doesn't like strike your fancy, maybe don't watch it. I feel like it's very similar to a game called Dauntless, but maybe I'm wrong on that. But anyways, Elden Ring first-person mod, that's going to be the second week. The third week is going to be Skyrim VR, but I was wondering if we should push this to the fourth week because I think this will put us in, like, the 17th, and I thought Raid said that there was, like, a Wuthering Waves, or no, Genshin. Oh, wait, no, that's the thing. Ah, fuck. When does Camilla happen? Because we might do a whole week of both Wuthering Waves and Zenless. That might be our fourth. But we'll have to put that in wherever it is.
11,234 said Dauntless is very similar to Monster Hunter, so is it a good idea to layer the slaying games?
I think so, because for me, I think it's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if anything, I think it'd be nice so that you have some momentum, so it's not complete. Again, maybe it'll make me hate Wayfinder, but I hope not. But yeah, that's a good thing to consider, though. Thank you for bringing that up. Cat says, Grin, thank you for streaming. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Cap. So sorry I didn't see that. Happy birthday. So I shall claim this stream as my birthday. Happy fucking birthday. Everybody wish happy birthday to Cat, our Mr. Man over there, man. You've had a bad birthday week. Failing the dumb electrician thing. Or whatever it was. It's like a coding thing. I fucking can't remember. It was some sort of a test of a kind. Derp says, I'm slaying, getting my community more involved, contests and stuff. Yeah, for you especially. I feel like that's like, whenever I look at any of those other channels that do art stuff, it seems like that's how like an art channel makes it, because it's just so long to make art in general, so the only way you can make content is if you kind of make the community itself content, which thank God, because, yeah. Imagine if art probably takes such a long time to bang out something that you feel like, yeah, I want to show this to people. So yeah. Haven't uploaded in like 2 weeks, and you're like, fuck, shit. Grave is also a good one. So the chat fucking slapped down. I'll possibly recommend spreading VR through the month rather than trying to do it all in one straight week. It wouldn't be a bad idea. I feel like it just makes things more complicated a little bit, you know? Like, I think my brain's better at suffering, even if I know it's for just like an amount. Like, if we can get through this week, I'll know I'll be able to come out the other side kind of thing. The theme is definitely vampire and werewolf. Oh, I guess werewolf. It's werewolf. That's not a werewolf. That pisses me off. I feel like Buff Pup is very, very much werewolf. That's werewolf enough to call yourself a werewolf. It just having a floofy tail is nothing. That's just like furry adjacent, all right? Kat says, yes, a ton of VR hurts the eyes. Yeah, maybe, well, I mean, we'll see. I don't find that. It's usually maybe like feeling motion sick, and then by the 4th day, I've just accepted the suffering that we also, I think that would help. Like, again, my biggest thing is I like to, like, sink into the game that we're playing and kind of, like, be like catching our stride in, like, what we're doing and like, our character becoming stronger each consecutive day. I don't know why. I was like, me, like, pausing it and playing a little bit of VR and then doing a little bit of like, let's say, Monster Hunter or Warfare or whatever it is. I feel like that would be enough of a gap in between to where I'd be like, what were we doing in Skyrim again? Like, I guess we were, like, in the middle of the Thieves Guild, maybe? Yeah, you know? Or as if each day I was like, okay, the goal for tomorrow is to beat the fucking Thieves Guild. That's the main thing we're doing. Boom, you know? Oh, that's a little ambitious. That's like a lot. I'd play like a 12-hour stream if that's the case. Women with guns. With what? Oh, what do you mean with the one thing? Lone says, how the hell was I supposed to get that? Fluff says, I'm getting a flashback to when you were trying to have us guess GRINN when your mascot was smirking. Well, when was that? Ooh, that's a memory that, like, I feel like is 100% we would talk about it, but I have no memory of it. It sounds slightly familiar. I will be, yeah, it was one of, like, the least, noticeable characteristics, but hey. Derp says, I know you hate horror games, but you should totally play a horror game for the spooky season. No, I thought about it. I seen some, like, I think Game Ranks talk about how good Silent Hill remake was, and I thought, oh, maybe this. And then I just thought, fuck that, because, I don't know, man. It's not the jump scares that really get me, it's just like...
McFlufferkin said the flashback I mentioned was back when you were rebranding to GRINN, and asking us what your mascot was doing to hint what the name would be.
And no one got it. Everyone just was, like, fucking dead silent, like, big eyes? Yeah. Also, I don't know, this is some stuff I wanted to run by, guys. I see other streamers do it. It's probably dumb for us to do it. But, I don't know. I thought maybe, like, because I see other streamers basically have, like, some sort of goal. Like, they have, like, a financial goal of, like, hey, your subscriptions are going towards this. Your, what do you call it? Your bit donations or whatever are going towards this. And it's like a little bar filling up for a certain goal. And to me... Oh, man, I don't really want to lean into it too much, because I don't think we'll get it. And two, I don't know, but just the whole,
McFlufferkin said seems Woo's 1.4 banner starts on November 14th.
Oh, okay. The whole VTuber thing, like saying, like, hey, I mean, I think it'd be cool, interesting maybe. Just to tell you the truth, still to this day I have not seen like a person with a VTuber like a mascot type stuff that actually isn't like sexy anime dude woman except all that. I very rarely have seen like freakish monster shadow thing that like still looks human adjacent. But yeah, I haven't seen it with hopefully like very expressive features and stuff like that. So part of me is like that could be fun. I don't know, but I get in my head about it and I'm like but then I see a lot of people like do both. They do like a little bit of face cam and then they do a little bit of VTuber stuff, weird shit. I don't know. It also just seems like a whole other system and all these stuff to learn. But maybe
Catman 11,234 said, "What do you mean we don't want sexy freaky GRINN avatar?"
I don't want that. I'd rather we talked about Cat will do this. We'll do this for remind me Fluff to do it. Fluff has given us a bunch of VTuber things to analyze. I hope you can make it to the end of the stream, Cat, because I would like to get you to participate in it.
I've said Shadow Daddy.
No, please no. Hell no. But I mean, I can't take he's a shadow. He can morph in any way you want. But anyways, point is, we go over like VTubers aesthetic design. We have like an ending thing we do every stream on Sunday because it's our Hangout stream, where we basically like analyze if we enjoy the VTuber art or not. Like if we enjoy like if they have whatever it is, that thing that makes you like interested or curious in what they're showing. So we'll do that at the end of the stream. We'll see what you guys think. But that's kind of, we after doing this for like 4 streams, at least for me.
McFlufferkin said I've seen a shadow creature done as a tertiary avatar.
Oh hell
but
yeah!
Nothing done as their primary.
See.
I support the mascot as a fairly unique design for a potential VTuber model one day.
Yeah, I hope that we could try
One
doing
Syndicate said, I have a new VTuber I want to show off.
that. Hit me with it. Send it. Discord message me, the person. Some images and shit. We'll judge. Judge their look. We can't judge them on personality because it's not fair. Because then we'll get charmed in 2 seconds. These fucking charming bastards. So yeah, best we can do is judge their objective appearance. Okay, and be like, eh. But when I say we judge their, I give you guys actually a barometer of like, is this someone that you would pause and like stop scrolling through YouTube or Twitch and actually be like, oh, that looks interesting? Again, I always give the example of like a really unique idea that makes people want to click on it is the orc salaryman. So it's just like a giant orc with a tie, but it tells a story instantly, and you were instantly curious about it. It's not just like, oh, generic anime girl that looks nice. It's in like trendy ass attire. It's kind of like, it just looks like another VTuber person. It doesn't have like a question that makes you lean in. So that's kind of how we judge the looks a little bit. Anyways. Derp trying to get Green killed. Exactly. I ain't about that life. Yeah, but a spooky game I'm not really into because I just hate the dread. The feeling.
Catman 11234 said, when people ask me about Grin, I tell them he's all about judging people's objective appearance.
Fucking
thumbs up.
absolutely. Just a real shallow cunt. Your boy. Let's be honest, who the fuck's asking you about Grin? Yeah, a random Canadian in the middle of nowhere? I don't think so. The one time you've had a conversation with, what are you watching right now? And it's like, it's some guy. Yep, mouthwash. Isn't that scary? What's mouthwash? What?
Light said, sup dude.
What's good, Nog? Nog says, damn, me being late. It's all good, Nog. We just love having you pop on in, buddy. Actually, we like you being here the whole time. It always warms my heart when we get to the very end of the stream, and I say goodbye, and then just Nog, who's been ghosting, like, the whole time, just not replying, just lurking, is like, bye! And it always warms my heart, because I'm like, oh, they're here the whole time. I wish I could have talked to you more, because I can't. I don't know if who's here based on who's commenting is what I go by. Dauntless is very similar to Monster Hunter. Yeah, I don't know. It's we should think about that a little more. But yeah.
Your Pinchnov said, bruh doesn't even know what mouthwashing is. Rolls eyes loudly.
What is that? Is it like, I know what mouthwashing is like you gargle mouthwash to wash your mouth, but is it like a weird game? I feel like you're like, how do you not know this? And I feel like it's disturbing that you know what this is. Outside of if it's just not like mouth cleaning supply. Also, Lethal Company is like a is one of your top 5 games. Damn, really? It's weird, man. Some people really like love I think it's if you have like a really tight friend group, like those like Among Us in games and shit like that. People just lock into. There's another one of those like spaceships. It's like basically Among Us, but it looks like slightly more like real. But it looks neat, you know. Wayfinder is crossplay, but Lone does have a PC now, so if you'd like to play a co-op ARPG, you could. Ooh.
Jerpinchnov said mouthwashing is the horror game RN. It's amazing.
I don't want it. I don't want it. Why? What is it about? Who the fuck names their game Mouthwash as a horror game? Fluff says, Wayfire is an ARPG with dungeon crawling and open zone areas. I think of it like a Destiny-like event. And okay. Huh. I feel like we're also seeing a very bad description of it because this is like, I think, the tutorial guy that you can pick. And he's just playing like the first mission. So, you know, once again, IGN kind of dropping the ball. The first 23 minutes of a game, it's usually the most boring. So, yeah. Nito Fluff, shout, my pals the madness for accepting...
Derpinchno said, don't judge my game. You'd reach such a big audience if you took a gander at it.
Which one? Which one? The mouthwash game or the other thing? The like, what is it called? That, like, weird... I can't think of what it's called, but it's like the hard... Yeah, fucking damn, where's Derp's message? I can't think of it. Lethal Company, that's what I was thinking of there. Bolty says, we stream... Yeah, we're streaming, Bolty. Sorry, I must have scheduled it at 4 because I must have not been thinking. That's my bad. We always stream on Sundays at 1. Not on our month of streaming, though. And honestly, this might be an elaborate ruse for me just to condition you to get ready to stream at 3 p.m. because I feel like that's the best time to do that. But, but yeah. Goal, try not to starve. Starve what? What do you mean? Yeah, Wuthering Waves banner is on the 4th. So what would that put us? 14th. That'd be a second month. Not really, though. We could kind of do weird shit where we play first-person Elden Ring mod, then we play Wuthering Waves, then we jump back at the 19th to play... it makes it weird. Why is it in the fucking middle of the week? It makes it all weird. Cat says, has your weird-ass keyboard arrived? No, it hasn't even shipped yet.
Flufferkin said, without spoiling more than the core idea, Mouthwashing is a sci-fi horror setting involving the surviving crew of a cargo ship that crash-landed.
I'll spoil it for myself. I'll just look up all of it. If a game can be spoiled, it's a bad game. Okay.
Gnawing Fetus said the main goal of all YouTubers, try not to starve. Bonus points for actually making money.
What is that? What do you mean, like you're not making any monetization money? Is that what you mean? I'm trying to leave everyone's comments behind, so I'm still a little behind. We got the Shadow Daddy thing. Ew. I think the Shadow thing would be cool. When people ask me about Grin, I talk about how he does his only appearances. I want gender bender Grin. No! Hell no. I don't know. That's some weird stuff, man. I don't know. People have a very, like, people in VR chat and shit have, like, a very big thing with that, where it's just like, I am gonna fucking experience what it's like to be the other sex. And I'm like, I'm pretty, I think being a dude in some ways is hard already, and I can only imagine how hard it is for women. I'm happy with my whatever difficulty we're set. I don't want to get into it. But yeah. Mouthwash is that VR game. It's amazing. My friend Groove.
Lone Syndicate said, Grin, if you want, I can draw that for you.
No, I'm good. I'm pretty okay. Thank you very much. I think I'm pretty okay. Early on, their game was so scuffed, but so much fun. Yeah, Phasmophobia. I mean, there's a lot of games that are like that it's almost refreshing that they're kind of scuffed. It's not like, it's not like this whole thing. Cat says, my fave friend group co-op game memory is GTA Online. GTA Online was awesome. I do think GTA Online, though, to me, it's hard to describe. Like, I love GTA Online, but I don't like how, like, animation locked GTA is. Like, you're, like, if you want to vault up something, you kind of walk up to it, your character kind of, like, snaps into place and gets up, you know? I like the Sunset Overdrive free-flowing, you just, like, whip yourself 20 feet in the air kind of thing. But, GTA Online, good stuff, all that. Derp says, I'm failing to peer I mean, it's not even that. It's just that, like, I've always been pretty, extremely rigid in, like, peer pressure. Like, I always had friends who were, like, going ape shit, and I was just like, I'm good. I'll just hang, and we just hanged out, etc. So whenever somebody does peer pressure me, it makes me, like, I'm a combative person by nature. So, like, the more people are like, you should do it, and I'm like, I don't think I want to do it. And they're like, you should do it. I'm like, kill yourself. Like, don't fucking tell me what to do kind of nonsense in my brain. If I don't articulate it as such, but in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what? The more you ask, the more I don't want to do it. Which is not a good trait, by the way. Ooh, also, look at this shot. Once again, just such a beautiful shot. Oh, I hope my game doesn't crash so we can actually do this.
Catman 11,234 said Grin is combative by nature, so if we tell him not to do something, maybe we can trick him? Eyes.
Bolty said you should live a healthy and balanced life.
Fuck all of you. I'm gonna go crazy. We're gonna stream for a month straight. Also, what's good, light? Well, people ask me that, Booba Grin. Yeah, I don't know. Some people rock it. Now, don't get me wrong. We could, like, theoretically, I'm playing like this fucking Shadow Man monster. So, if there was ever like a thing that was like, fuck it, I'm everything, all at once, gender who, we could. I don't know. It sounds weird, but like if I was weird Booba Grin type shadow monster, whatever. A part of me would be like, I feel like I would have to change to honor the character, you know what I mean? Like, I'd talk like an idiot. I'd talk like, I don't know, something. Like, it wouldn't be my normal self, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it's weird to me to have fucking giant this and then just
Lone
be like,
Syndicate
what's
said,
good,
also
bro?
I said the VTuber grin.
Nog says, yeah, I'm kind of lurking most of the yeah, but I appreciate having you, buddy. Cat says, I'm sure based purely on the YouTube avatar.
Fetus said, dealing with people like you, Grin, I've learned to always phrase things as their idea. Like, ya no Grin, streaming at 3 is a great idea. Did you ever think of 2?
Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't really understand it, but I'm weirded out by trying to like analyze myself to see if I'm falling for it. It's just becoming me. It's just making me like. It's like, hey guys, think about your breath right now. Think about like your breath. Just like that, in and out, in and out, in and out. Anxiety. You just blinked right now. Isn't that weird? Oh, you just did it again. You haven't blinked in a little bit of a while, have you? Oh, it's your eyes getting a little bit dry. Oh, there it is. You blink. It's that shit. It's making me think like that. Derp said, the mouthwash game. We have to look that up. I'm curious what that is.
Catman 11234 said, I am glad your fanbase is focused on psychologically manipulating you. True friends heart.
Well, most people have been here for like years, like absurd amount of time. So say manipulation, but at this point, I think they have enough data points to me to know what I'm probably going to say before I say it or react in the way that I react. So yeah, it's the curse of knowing someone for far too long. Early on, there was a game who so scuffed, but yeah, did I remember that? Bolty, that's called charming. Okay. Yeah, like the clunk in certain video games. Without spoiling more of the core concept, Mouth was a sci-fi horror game with a ship crash crew. Right. Fluff says, but honestly, horror is not a genre for Grin, unless it's cozy / warm thing based on Halloween. Exactly. Well, to me, it's also like, we've played this. Like, I've done this before. There was a time when we were playing horror games. I even played like a horror video VR game, which is like horror times 10. And like jump scares to me usually don't work. It's not that I'm not getting scared. It's just that I'm not like very reactive visually. Like, I'm not like, oh my god. I'm like, oh, okay. Fuck it. Oh, you know, stupid, dumb. And I'll self-soothe myself. So like, if we're experiencing something horrible, I'll just talk my ass off to make myself not as scared. And I don't lean into it as much. But the issue is I'm still spending 2 hours walking around in usually a pitch dark ass place that like looks like shit, and then it's usually like you're fucking looking for a puzzle as some demon thing is trying to find you, and it's just like I'm frustrated by the gameplay loop, and also this is just miserable. Like, so it's just a recipe for me to be unhappy and not like, maybe like if you were playing Phasmophobia, maybe you would be able to like anchor yourself to your friend and shoot the shit, make jokes in the downtime, but otherwise most horror games is just like, I don't know what to fucking do, you know.
Said Grin playing trash horror games.
So that's even worse, because the same problem about me being like, what do I do? Just fucking do nothing, I guess.
Lone Syndicate said, I remember we played that one game during Halloween last year where we controlled what happened.
Oh, right, yeah, you guys could like summon demons and shit? Yeah, that was something. Yeah, I did that, and that was fine.
McFlufferkin said, I personally don't like horror games or movies, especially when it mostly boils down to jump scares over atmosphere. I do enjoy watching others play through horror, but I wouldn't push it on others.
Hundo P, I will say though, atmosphere I always find is worse. Like, I would rather play a game that has jump scares, because I find jump scares are less scary, because again, you can just talk your ass off and like start to predict when the thing is going to happen usually. Whereas atmosphere is just like it's unending. Like it's always there, and it's always creepy, and it's always like it's withers you down as you're walking through a gross fucking cabin, and you hear like fucking mice scurry atop the ceiling, and you're like you know.
Derpenschnoffe said I'm a slur for horror. I will always try to convert.
You're a what? I'm a slur. Wait, what do you mean slur for horror? What's that? I was slur for horror, and I thought, what? Damn. Also, Lone says, grin if you want, I can draw. No, I'm good. I'm good. You're probably right, Fluv. Only difference is my peer pressure is right. Grin is combative.
McFlufferkin said, I'm not prone to nightmares, but I would rather not volunteer myself of developing such.
Yeah, no, for me, it'll always go back to my dad. My dad, I remember I watched Halloween, the Halloween reboot. And I just remember seeing this like fucking kid with long hair like fucking slit his stepdad's throat vividly, like burn his whole house down, beat his
Lone
whole
Syndicate said
family up.
jump scares suck, like they're not scary, and most of the time they're cheap.
Yeah, I just find it's like it was just like a scary enough experience. And I was like, yeah, I told my dad about it. I was like, yeah, it's just scary. It freaked me out. Like I start thinking about it, and like when I'm trying to sleep, and it just makes it so I can't sleep. And my dad was like, what a stupid dumb thing. Like why? Like my dad was like, there's no people who like scary movies are psychotic, like fucking psych free people, lunatics. It's like, hey, life hasn't been hard enough to me. I just want to get the shit kicked out of myself just cuz. Just cuz, actually. I just want to, like, give myself trauma just cuz. Ha ha ha.
Depinchno
Fucking
said,
yes.
speaking of jump scares, I'm going to defend mouthwashing. There's no jump scares. It's all plot.
That's worse, isn't it? Yeah. You make it sound like it's more dreadful. Like it's more scary. Bloody says, TBH, there are so many good old YouTubers that do horror. I mean, no, definitely think like it's definitely like a thing that you can do that like makes people excited, and it's fun. I watch those. Like I watch content creators play the horror games sometimes, like Outlast and stuff like that. But it's one thing to like be in the pilot seat and then to just be existing in that for no reason. Usually, like that is the joy. Is like, oh, the content creator is making me laugh, so that it's kind of like it's like building tension and then it's cutting it in half.
Lone Syndicate said, I've been watching horror movies since a kid. I remember visiting my mom and watch Child's Play 2 on VHS all the time.
Fuck that. Fuck that. Y'all need better imaginations, because the fact that you're not like seeing shit in your brain when you're going out like getting a cup of water in the middle of the night, fucking madness, you know what I mean? You don't feel like someone's fucking trying to grab your neck as you're like rushing up the stairs. Fuck that. Fuck that. Just give yourself more fuel for your head, little Chucky doll coming at you.
Derpenschnoffe said, been watching Saw since I was like 6.
Y'all have problems. Y'all have problems. Alright? Hot damn. I can only imagine how like mentally stable one person can be to be like, you know what? Seeing someone torture for 2 hours just sounds like exactly what my brain needs. Just like, yes, that actually would be perfect for me. And I'm like, what happened? I don't think, to me, it can't be like I've experienced horrible shit, and it's chill. It has to be like, I need to feel something, because life has just been, hey, guess what? Guess what? It's been lollipops and rainbows, and for some messed up part of your childhood, you crave chaos, and here it is. Cat says, derped, demanding a psychotic freak lunatic by... Yeah, I don't want any of that. Let me see, what is this mouthwash situation?
Derpenschnoffe said, nothing is scarier than the real-life actions of man. Ain't no movie scaring me.
Yeah, I mean...
Lone Syndicate
your
said
imagination...
that what made it so cool, my imagine, just going wild like someone can be this creative.
Your imagination can go crazy. That's all I'll say. What am I doing? We are doing mouth... wash... game. What is this? Good old Jack played it. Brazilian channel played it. Full story explained. Looks so complicated. It looks very Japanese.
Balti said, so what have we planned now so far?
It looks kind of cool, as much as it also looks overwhelming. So this is a 36-second clip. The look of it looks kind of cool. I think I've seen a VTuber play this, because of course I have. Because clippers go crazy. Okay. It looks just like messy enough to where it's not quite as scary, but I'm assuming the atmosphere and the sounds rip your head off, you know? I mean, it feels like this will 100%, you know, you'll create like a sleeper agent within your heart, and you'll just be like, I need to kick a cat 20 years from now. And you're like, why is this possessing me? And it's because this weird, obscure shit eating you alive. I will have no cat kicking, although that doesn't look... I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything, but... I'm not going to say anything. He's a coward, not my fault. It's true. I mean, you call me what you want. It's like someone calling like a person who doesn't skydive like a pussy. It's like, I'm happy being alive. I can watch anime for the rest of my life. I can do all these other things. You're gonna convince me that like somehow this risk is worth it. And I'm like, It's like telling a person who has like a fucking visceral drug addiction within his family and can tell that like he has that same pull, and then it's like some normie person who has none of that in their family being like, it's just weed, dude. It's nothing. And it's like, it's nothing. It's just that it could mean something more for me than you.
Lone Syndicate said, I will say there was this one time I watched a horror movie with my cousin, and there was a scene of a woman in a bathtub with a body hanging over her, and she sliced the throat of the person.
See, like, why? Like, in my head, I'm shaking my head like, well, like, I don't think you guys realize, people who watch horror, you are, like, it sounds crazy. You're literally like, I'm going to go spend
Catman
2 hours.
11,234 said, I can watch anime for the rest of my life. Fake grin. We all know the real Grin only reads manhwa.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's true. Old Grin would have been... I try to do both, but I don't do both. Anyway, it sounds crazy for horror people because you're literally being like, hey, for 2 hours, I'm going to proceed to watch the most horrifying thing, like women getting their head cut off, a psychotic man torture children, kill the dog. Always the dog dies, unfortunately. And yeah, and that's just
Lone
what I
Syndicate
do.
said, I remember that haunting my dreams for a good bit.
It's just like anyone who's arguing, yeah, we do this. It's like, stop. Like, what is wrong with you? My God, fucking figure that out, because there's no way you can sell that for you not seeming like a problem, like seeming like a deeply disturbed person, all right? No. Speaking of jump scare, I'm just defending Mouth. Yeah, it didn't look. Yeah, I agree. It looked like an interesting horror game. It looked like something that you could watch and have fun with. I just don't know if I want to fucking inject that shit into my veins, you know? Especially when Monster Hunter's coming out. Like, we want to fucking play that or Monster Hunter. You know what I mean? Don't answer that. I don't want to... Yeah. I know what you guys are saying. Mouthwash is definitely a psychological horror game. It's worth a look, even if you watch someone else play it. Yeah, play it. I've been watching since I was... What the heck? What the heck? I've been watching since I was 6. First and only horror movie I've seen, The Ritual.
Pinchnoke said most horror isn't you being the monster. It's seeing monsters in action. Monsters that are based off humans, usually. Mouthwashing's horror is truly the horror of man and its reality.
Lone Syndicate said, I will say that Mouthwash game looked pretty meh.
Oh, okay. That's it, Lone. Just keep saying that. I thought it looked kind of neat. I thought it looked like kind of like weird, like creative nonsense. I didn't get the horror vibe. I imagine when you're like in it and you're hearing the sounds and shit, you're like, it's unsettling. Sound plays such a huge part of horror, though. Cat says, Booty, we got the first Elden Ring VR game. So, okay, what did Booty say? So what have we planned? So what we have planned for right now, it's kind of a little bit of a mess.
Annoying Fetus said, only movie that ever really scared me was some alien movie when I was like 6. Woke myself up later that night choking myself, was dreaming the alien had come and took me and was strangling me.
Catman 11,234 said want to
What
see
horror
Grin
movies?
play a dating sim at some point, if not during the stream month, then at some point would be funny.
Yeah, maybe. I was about to say that yeah, but who, her said, I couldn't remember what it said about about the person who fucking dreamed like they started that's wild. Like, please don't watch horror movies. Like, Jesus. Hey, don't watch action thrillers either. You sit there sleepwalking and just what's that? Disgusting, man. I still got like the recoil of sickness in my
Volty
body.
said also, what happened to Destiny? Do you still play that game?
I like it. I've lost the spark to play it, knowing that they've kind of
said,
abandoned
God, if you're do a dating sim, I love a date with death.
it. God, if you're doing a dating sim, I'd love a date with death. Okay, what's that? Is that what is that? And let me explain to both what we have so far. So we have Monster Hunter Wild, which is having a beta at the end of this month. And then we have Wayfinder, which Fluff made me buy, put a gun to my head, made me buy it, so I bought it. Which we'll be playing for the next week. So that will be the first week.
Lone Syndicate said Grin has actually played dating sims, the two being Neon White and Sucker for Love.
I have. Neo White's barely a dating sim, but Sucker for Love is actually absolutely a dating sim, and it's one of my guilty pleasure have the time of my life. Because it's just, dating sims are just like an elaborate, like memory, like reward game, basically. Where like if you have a decent memory about stuff and you pay attention, you're just like locked the fuck in it. Anyways, so for the first week, we are going to be doing.
Gnawing Fetus said,
do
what
both
was
those.
that one dating sim, like Eldritch horror game?
Yep. We did play that. There is a sequel, but I'm not sure if it's finished. Which it's one of the weird things where like it's such a popular format, and yet the guy takes like fucking 8 years to finish the game. I think it's because he draws everything himself, but it's still like holy shit. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna do Wayfinder for that month, and then we're gonna do Elden Ring VR, but we might move Elden Ring VR down one tick, because we might do like Wuwa and Camilla plus why can't I do plus? There we go. And then ZZZ. But we might just do Wuwa. Doing one whole push. It's a little tough, because maybe we should sprinkle Skyrim VR in here a little bit. Just because it's going to be a long time without VR content. It's going to be 3 weeks without VR content, which seems like a little bit of a stretch. I'll think about it. I'm not sure. Half of this will also be us playing it by ear. Also, this is Skyrim VR, which I found. Gameplay of. Yeah, Nong talking about so it was Nong who said that about him. I said, yeah, fucking Nong, that's terrifying. You're fucking choking yourself when you're still. I've had like the one thing where like, I think it was me. It might have been my brother. It was one of us. It happened in the bloodline. I don't know what you want from us, but like, you just full on like piss your bed. Like you stand up, piss your bed.
Off Skyrim VR. Then if there's a week remaining, you can do another VR game as a finale.
Oh, yeah.
Volty said, isn't Wild only coming out on February?
I thought it was the beta. It's a beta that's coming out, and the beta for PC is going to be pushed into like the very end of like the Halloween week push. You know, the Otome game saga. No, see that's the issue. A lot of dating sims are terrible because it's literally just like a visual novel that's just like, hey, it's like the thing I hate the most, which is like here's reading for 20 million years, and with no payoff. And if you make a bad choice, get fucked. You know what I mean? Like my dating sims that I find funny are always the ones that's like, hey, do you remember these, like the thing that this person enjoys the most? Are you able to pick up on what they like, how they enjoy to be spoken to and how they don't enjoy to be spoken to? Shit like that. Instead of it's like, do you want to learn about my traumatic past and also how much random nonsense these side characters want to yell at you for? Yeah. Yippee. By the way, it's always like a fucking love triangle, so someone's killing themselves at the end because they're not picked and all that stupid school day nonsense shit. It's awful. I will say that mouthwash game looks pretty meh. If I don't have a game for the last week of November, it could be that or some other it could be the other VR game. The issue is that I think I really do want to like play Withering Waves and Camilla because I have prepped.
11,234 said if you want a dating sim like you described, you should play Honey Pop.
No, I've seen people play it a lot. That one looks fine. The issue is that I'm not a big fan of like the minigame in between, like the weird like matching gems and shit. I feel like would just make me go insane. But I feel like I could find one of those if I wanted to. I'm not sure if we want that though. Like I think we would do the Eldritch Horror one again, but that's like. I don't know if we could play that for a week, you know? But yeah, we could...
Balti said Doki Doki Literature Club.
No, that makes me sad. It always makes me sad when the like childhood friend fucking commits suicide, and I just like, ugh. It makes you sad, you know. Also, whoever said that, you're cursed. Why do you want me to play that? Trying to make me play some terrible shit.
Doki Doki.
No.
Lone Syndicate said if you do a dating sim, I suggest date a live Rio.
How long is it? Maybe I shouldn't have given the criteria of we need to play it for a year or something, or like a week, because some of these things go on forever, and I will definitely meet the criteria. During stream mouth, then at some point that would be funny. I want to see Grin play a dating sim at some point. I mean, it'd be great. I always find games like that are the funnest because it's just such a fun time to like. I feel like I am the demographic of that those games are made for. I think, which is like someone who's like, oh, this is cute and wholesome, and like you can fall into that, while simultaneously being like, this is cringe, I hate it, this is dumb, what a dumb bitch, and being like, and she's just being ridiculous, and we don't deserve this. You know what I mean? I'm curious what Derp said though. She said that dating sim, I love a date with Dem. Is that what death? Is that what it is? What is all this about? I love a date with death. A date with death. Is that what it's called? Oh, what is this? Oh, it's a guy. Is it a guy? Or is that a... That looks like a... It does not quite look like a Hundo P dude. Looks like a woman dressing up as a... Yeah, or a dude dressing up as a... Anyways,
Lone
ew!
Syndicate said, depending on how long we stop and pause, we could probably do a couple of paths.
I see there's like a pale
if you live stream
boy.
a dating game, I can judge your flirting on the spot.
I see like there's a fucking dude, a pale dude with white hair getting his nipple teased. What is going on? What is this game? And I see VTubers wearing glasses and horns played, because of course they would. What is this? I know exactly what this is. Jeez Louise, people are crazy. No, thank you.
Volty said him.
Hot damn, did not expect that. There's an upcoming spooky dating something. I lost it. It popped up in chat. What is Dream? No, not Dream Dad. Why do I play like gay dating sims? That would make me exceptionally uncomfortable, because I'm like, I would both get into it, but also be like, I feel ashamed, you know? Also, what happened to Destiny? Yeah, no, I still enjoy the game. I just, it kind of loses the spark when there's no, like,
Raid Nate said, I'm curious
thing.
to see how much content the Monster Hunter Bets actually has.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we'll play it and be like, yeah, we're kind of done it, maybe. But I feel like it's a game that would lead with a lot of content.
Catman 11,234 said if Grin does the gay dating sim, he needs the boober avatar for sure.
No! We'll just get an audience of people thinking I'm a femboy or some horrible shit. Hell nah. Let those people get after it, but I'm okay. Okay? Oh God, where you're tasked with investigating, haunting, and things are more harder. Oh. Okay, that's what Fluff said. There's an upcoming spooky dating game that's sort of called Soul Mates. So you're just fucking ghosts? Is that what it is? Or Kaijin or some shit? Catman says the one dating...
Derpinschnoffe said, Grin is underestimating how hilarious and beautiful that video could be.
I don't disagree that it could be a funny time. I'm not sure if I'm mentally in the place to be... Why is it so fucking dark also? What's going on with this guy's fucking video? Anyways.
Gnawing Fetus said yes, Catman. Yes, but also the demo will probably last 6-ish hours, unless you grind out everything.
Oh wow, so maybe we won't have that much time to play. I mean, we take like a million years to beat anything, so yeah. Or in combination Harv with one, you could play Doki Doki. Yeah, I don't want to play... Doki Doki to me is, like, extremely neat, but the whole time playing it, I just feel, like, viscerally depressed, because, like, it's like, it, like, plays on your, like, your weakness of, like, wanting to help people who are, like, struggling mentally, etc., or, like, going through something, you know, tough mentally. And there's no good ending, really. It's just all shit. You know, only Monica, all that stuff. I've also, like, seen it be played, like, 4 times, because it's like one of those things you can rewatch, and it's pretty fine. It's a good idea, by the way. Just, like, the idea of, like, hey, it combines, the horror theme and the one theme. If you do a dating sim, I would suggest Stay to Live. I thought PS5 was just early access with a run. With the rest of the demo, though, they have the test crossplay and stuff like that, depending on how long.
Dopinchno said, I want to vote.
Lone Syndicate said I finished the outline for my next drawing Grin and sent it to the art tab.
Oh, I can't wait to see it, man. You've been cranking them fucking out, goddamn. What do you call it, Lone? You've been getting after it. I'm shocked to see, like, usually sometimes it was like we went 2 weeks without art. Now you're just like, bah, 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 bah. Okay, Cat says, Derp with the femboy dating sim. Is that what that is? Is that what that is? Huh. Derp says, if you live stream a dating game, I can judge your flirting on the spot. I mean, this is also a fallacy.
Don't get me wrong, we can vote, but Grin will not do as we tell
true.
him to anyway.
It's my way. Okay, I'm the one having to do it. I'm not. Yeah, you guys can give a very strong suggestion. Okay, and oftentimes it's chosen. But I am not one of these streamers who's like, I'm a little monkey, make me dance. No, no. Anyways, but I was gonna say, Derp was like, I can judge how you can flirt with them. I'm like, yeah, but isn't that the kind of the thing? Like, I do agree that.
Derpinchno said, bad creator.
I do agree. I'm a bad creator. Look where we're at right now. I do agree that, what do you call it? Like, the whole dating sim thing, there's worse, like, points of leverage to have.
Said, so U.S. voting system, then.
Exactly. Locked it. Sure, whatever that is. I don't want to get out of what this is. I'm a Canadian. I don't know what the fuck that really means. Yeah, it's run the political season. I don't want to talk about anything. Anyways, but, what do you call it? I agree that, like, again, I remember I watched a live stream of a person talk about, like, dating sims and shit like that, and they're like, it's so stupid and it's all cringe and what a useless thing. And I'm like, I mean, theoretically, you're like, it's conditioning you to, like, pay attention to what your partner in this case, or, like, interest person, whatever it is
Syndicate
saying.
said, like, when he asked us, should we do single polls or 10 polls?
It is.
No matter what we say, he was going to do
no,
single
I need
polls
a text-to-speech
anyway.
for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. Early time done this, because I keep fucking having to pause. Okay. It's also not your fault. I need to find a way I'll assign it to a hotkey and we'll be fine. Anyways. But, what was I saying? But about the whole weird dating sim. I do agree that, like, it gives you some baseline of, like, hey, this is, like, you know, pay attention to the people and the words that you're being told to. All that stuff. But I'm not sure if, like, the flirting that happens within, like, a dating sim is something that you can, like, judge someone's riz by, because it's like texting. That's the one thing I want to call bullshit, is, like, I do think the next generation's idea of flirting is, like, being really good at texting, and I hate that. I fucking hate that. You're just a fucking cheating ass bitch. You're stupid, dumb. You pause 10 minutes. Do you have to reply? I hate it. You guys know me. I hate texting so much. It's the worst thing on the planet. It's like someone texts you and then you gotta pause. You gotta say what you're gonna say, and then it takes 10 minutes for you to get your goddamn reply because they're thinking about what the hell they're gonna say and they're trying to be clever. And I'm like, I don't need you to be perfect. I just want you to talk and, like, I want us to get through this a lot faster than we're currently doing, because it's just taking forever. Point is, I don't want you to judge my dating, my whatever it is, the flirting nonsense, because I'm probably bad at it. Kat says, Derp, with the fanboy dating sim, Markiplier can do dreaming data. You can figure it. No, you definitely could do it. The question is, what would it entail us doing? Like, basically, like, would we see, like, big buff men get all sweaty and whatnot? Like, I've seen Markiplier play some of it, so, like, I don't know what to do with this. You know, like, the future that we're building for ourselves is not one that I want to pursue. Okay. Yes, Kat. Yes. You also have a demo to probably 6 hours. It's usually a grind if you want to do everything. Derp says, I want to vote. I finished the outline for the next drawing. You sent it to our tab. Derp says, don't get me wrong, says Bolty. We can vote. Yeah, Bolty knows.
Lone
Bolty
Syndicate
100%
said,
knows.
I've been down the rabbit hole when it comes to improving at my art. The main thing being improving my speed. I won't go into boring details, but these are the results.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Nog says, when you say one thing that do another, and get paid for both. Oh, no, and you'd have to pay for both. I think it's another, yeah. Derp says, bros scared of fem. No, the femboy one to me seems less bad than the like. The one you mentioned prior. I remember seeing that one, Bob. I'm like, dude, this is very hairy, very hairy. Whatever the one Markiplier played a long time ago. But the femboy one didn't seem very femboy. It seemed very like the Grim Reaper was like your classic vampire like adjacent K-pop like star, you know. Cat says no text to speech. How will Lone and Fluff update on the Zenless Zones? Hey, I appreciate those updates. Fluff says don't. You stream Sucker for Love on YouTube. Yeah, but that was Derp can just exactly, Derp. Find that VOD, man. We did stream Sucker for Love. What a good game, also. What's good, V? V says, V, you missed our fucking Withering Wave streams, man. God damn it, I needed you there. And you weren't there. My body. Oh. Derp says, I need my freedom of speech. Go watch it. I need my freedom of speech. Nothing's better than hearing an American talking about freedom. It's always like, what do you even mean? What's even happening? Okay. Oh. Derp says, I love the corner I have shown this man. I've shoved this man. How dare you? I will have you know I am in no such corner, and I'm just
Lone
hanging
Syndicate
out.
said also been finding ways for more people to see my art on social media, like on Instagram my Jane Doe art got 1.5k views and 70 likes, while the red dress one got 2.8k views and 50 likes.
Hell yeah, Bone, that's huge, buddy. That's massive. What do you call it? Yeah. That's awesome. It also helps that your art is of a particular kind. And yes. Nog says, nah, Grin, US politics get their salary for doing what they say they will. They
McFluffican said you jest, Bolty, but pretty sure both Lone and I haven't been very active on WooWar at all lately.
Gotcha.
I haven't been heavily build crafting on ZZZ either.
Yeah. I know. I feel like we're all kind of in the, I mean, maybe it's wrong, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like, does anyone else get like real fucking like groggy and like sleepy right as we're transitioning from summer to autumn? To like winter, etc. I feel like the gaming space feels that way too. Which thank God there's not like a big thing happening. I mean, I guess there's a couple of games happening, but yeah, yeah. I like if there was a big update for a video game, I feel like I'd be like not emotionally there to play it. You know, I'd be like, oh, okay, sure.
Depinchno said I don't get seasons here, so no.
I don't get seasons here, so no. What do you mean? Oh, right, you're in Florida, right? What did you guys just have, like a fucking hurricane or some shit, Derp, or did you move? Or were you not in that spot? Also, V says, hey, 2.0 drip feed marking about 4-8 days for Wuthering Waves. I'm hyped. Do we have new, like, have they showed off the new characters coming down the pipeline? In Zenless? Or Wuthering Waves, sorry?
Lone Syndicate said him getting back into Wooer due to Camellia coming out, but prior to that, not much.
Gotcha. What he said. What he said, my freedom of text to speech. I misread the. I see. I didn't see the freedom of text to speech. Gotcha. I mean, yeah. The issue is that sometimes, like, I can't. It's honestly a debilitating not memory, but mind issue. Where like I can't remember my train of thought because the voice text to speech is like, hey, and it's also delayed, so it's replying to things that we've just talked about. So it's just a loss across the board as far as like juggling 16 different types of conversations. Also, I think Google might start charging me for fucking text to speech, which is great. But anyways, What he said, nice. I remember having Twitter, and those artists always had great art. Yeah, well, I'm about to say people what do you call it? People say like Twitter is like a porn app a lot. I don't really get that. Maybe I have something detoggled, but yeah. I do find it hilarious that you see how much like anime nonsense has injected itself within Twitter, though. Like when you scroll down to comments, you always see some sort of stupid like anime meme reply, and like, ew.
Catman 11234 said, I cringe when the stream decides my text-to-speech message happens right in the middle of your rants or trains of thought.
It's okay.
I can visualize the train derail.
Yeah, I always like to pause, and it's weird because I have to make a choice of like, do I react to the text-to-speech or do I just like, or do I, what do you call it, just like block it out and try to like make sure I don't lose my train of thought? And I just look like I'm being unplugged for 2 seconds. Also, Kat says, I've been sleeping a shit ton. Yeah, man, it's like, I think maybe it's like the temperature in our rooms go down, so you're like, it's colder, which helps you sleep and shit and all that stuff. My schedule is quite a yeah, man, well, I haven't just come back from sickness. It's just getting weird. Also, I'm getting back into Wuthering Waves with Camille coming out. Prior to that, not too much. Yeah, it's kind of. I feel like everyone's kind of on standby. I haven't seen people be like, "Oh, I'm really into getting into this," with the exception of Red playing a fuck ton of, Cyberpunk. Derp says the hurricane is just rain with the name. Fuck all happened. Oh, really? Wow. Okay. I seen some people show off some crazy shit. Although, to me, I mean, as a Canadian, we see some like crazy shit just on occasion. Like with
said Twitch was a porn app for a day. It was funny.
Oh, Twitch? Oh, jeez. So I was when they were like, we revoke the ad or the thing. Man, Twitch is weird. Twitch is weird. I only go into it, but yeah. Like, choices being made are like, okay. I don't know. To me, I get it, but it just basically seems like they should make the rule like, hey, if you have a slight possible thought of, but like this might reflect poorly on the platform, don't do it. People get close to the wire, but then you just smite those motherfuckers down, and then you're like, okay. You play games, you get hit. You know what I mean? It's not one of these things, but yeah. Florida has 2 seasons: hurricane season and almost hurricane season. I was gonna say, that's what shocked me as like a Canadian when you guys got a ton of. It wasn't Florida. I don't think it was Texas or something like that. When Texas got like a lot of snow or slight snow, in winter, like the whole infrastructure like collapsed and shit, or at least it seemed. They made it sound that way. Who knows if it actually did? But it was, as a Canadian, you were sitting there like...
Depinchno said, of course you're gonna see the crazy hurricane stuff.
What?
What am I gonna show you? My perfectly normal porch with nothing interesting or click-worthy.
Oh, wow. I feel like, Derp, you might be like tempting fate to just come and fuck you up. because you're like, nothing happened. What a piece of shit. At the same time, it's like... opposed to what is stuff happening? Like, oh, we're homeless now. Like, great. Like, damn, I'd be like, hey, thank God. It was just nothing. I loved with Nong's comment about Florida has 2 seasons: hurricane season and almost hurricane season. Yeah, Florida might be like similar to Alberta in the sense that like we have such hot weather and such cold weather that it's like our infrastructure I think is pretty okay or should be okay for most weird shit. V says, I love sleeping lucid. Lucid dream is sick as fuck. Yeah, I'm not one of these people who like, as soon as I start thinking about my dreams like that, I wake up. Like my brain just says, nope.
Said living in Tornado Alley is way scarier and no one says a thing because it's not milkable.
Oh, Tornado Alley? What the heck is Tornado Alley? I imagine it's in like a region, like a part of whatever where tons of tornadoes happen. Although, isn't it also your fault for being in like a place called Tornado Alley? Like at some point, we've got to stop making like building near ocean lines and all this other shit. You know what I mean? But I love the cool breeze of the sea. And you're like, yeah. What if some shit throws your house off of like the thing? It just or crushes your house under its pressure. It's wild. Also, you probably pull up something else. We'll do this, I guess. Immersive Skyrim stuff.
Lone Syndicate
so cool.
said I've been into finishing game in my backlog as of late, so I've been playing a bunch of Neptunia Gamer Maker Revolution, almost done that with the next game being either Sonic Frontiers or Dead Space.
So you have that completion mindset.
Gnawing Fetus said Tornado Valley is approximately between the Rockies and the Great Lakes.
Damn. Just like America and the Season 2 Construct and Snow. Twitter is not a Harada app. Cat says, it's okay. Twitter was a Pred app. Oh, Pred. I see. But don't know if that's still the case with yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is I hate this time, man. As a Canadian, the worst time to be on the internet is election time, just because it seems like I love America's great. American viewers are great. All right. But as like Canadian, it does like America in a lot of ways. I feel like in some ways in some ways is literally the center of the universe for a lot of, at least for America for sure. To where like it's just everything doesn't matter and it becomes everyone's problem essentially, And you're just hearing about it constantly. You're like, I'm just tired. I don't trust anybody who wears a suit at this point. He says human beings need to learn how to block and use the not interested in that option. Yeah. To me, yeah, man. I stick to YouTube. I'm happy with YouTube. I'm good with YouTube. I just see some videos pop up every now and again, and I'm like, all right, this is nice. I don't use any other social media app. It's probably killed me, probably because I probably should use them. But yeah. My mental state has been pretty solid. It's not perfect, but solid. Consistent, I would say. Kat says, I've been into Battle Brothers a fuck ton lately. But my God, can it be
Bolte
annoying?
said micro-targeting is usually normalized nowadays. Targeted ads during election time.
Yeah.
Raidnade said, my God, don't even get me started on all the annoying-ass election ads I've gotten.
Yeah, man.
McFlufferkin said election year is the best advocate for ad blocks, Twitch
Fucking-
Turbo, and YouTube
I heard
Premium.
some shit, though. You guys hear this shit with YouTube? Or, like, with, Google just released, like, their thing for their extensions. Or Google extensions, etc. That, like, they cannot have code or, like, extensions that affect, like, foreign code. Like, code that's not approved by Google. So, of course, every single ad block code is not approved by Google. So all of these ad block people are, like having to, like, find different ways to solve it. Of course, the answer is just to fucking not use Google Chrome and just use some, like, other, like, Firefox extension, etc. But it's just shitty to see, like, it's almost like...
Derpenschnoffe said the ads stress me out so much. Been reading more because no ads.
Yeah, man, what do you call it? Yeah, again, I just think it's all... Like, I haven't felt it too much, but because I honestly, it always shocks me when it's time to, like, it's like Canadians voting time, whatever it is. Because the ad block and shit like that just... so that's what it is. I'm on YouTube constantly, so I play for YouTube Premium. Because I'm better than everybody, but I've always done it just because I hate fucking ads so much, and I thought, it's fine. Also, it's one of the few things that, like, as a content creator, when you get your monthly dollar bill, whatever the hell, it shows, like, the percentage of your of the money you make that's from people who have Prime or whatever it's called, YouTube Premium, and it was always like a substantial amount more than everybody else.
Derpenschnoffe said you can technically skip ads immediately on TV, but don't let YouTuber know I have a loophole.
Ooh,
They'll take it from me.
Got it. With the secrets. But anyways, yeah, I was gonna say that I haven't experienced any of those ads, thankfully. Tornado Alley is like half the U.S., bro. Damn, really? I don't know nothing about U.S., really. I mean, I know some bits, but, like, how much do you know about Canada? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not one of those, like, bro, you should know. It's like, again, it's a classic thing where it's like a U.S. person being like, center of the universe. Like, hey, how do you not know this? I'm like, that's not my fucking problem, man. But Cat says people living in Tornado Alley complain the same meme as people living in desert climate.
I started paying for YouTube Premium when I was working overnight, mostly since it allowed me to queue up videos and turn my phone screen off so I could have things to listen to for 8-hour shifts.
Okay. Raid says, my God, don't even get me started on all that shit. The ads stress me out so much. Been reading more because of no. Yeah, that helps. Brave browser will with its built-in ad block is top 2. Yeah, there's a bunch of other ones though. What do you call it? I use the Opera because I don't know. I just kind of fuck with it a little bit. I like it. It's weird, but it's nice. Also lets me limit like the RAM usage, which I edit a lot, so having to turn that down is nice. But yeah, Brave I also thought was a glutton for RAM at times. Yeah, Google cracking down on ad block and stuff like that, which, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the Netflix paradox where it's like, oh.
Derpinchnof said I had to learn about Canada in school. In fact, I have a friend who used to live in Canada. I also know a lot of Puerto Rico.
How much do you remember from Canada? Like, if I were able to tell you, like,
Lone Syndicate said I've been on the free trial of YouTube Premium as of late, and I have to say the no ads is so nice.
Yeah, man. What do you call it? Yeah, I've always got it. It's kind of shitty. It's like $10, $12 a month, but I watch like so much YouTube content. It's my dominant like entertainment source. Like, I don't watch Netflix that much anymore and all that stuff. So, yes, and I'll just pirate the rest of it because I fucking hate it. Anyways, I hate monthly subscriptions, but the YouTube one I pay because it's like it's $10 and I use it a freakish amount. Why are we watching this guy like I gotta speak. Contemplate. There we go. Contemplate. Sliding that guy's throat. It's just re-perpetuating how calm and normal people who play VR is. But yeah, I don't know anyone, like, it would be weird, like, yeah, I want to ask you guys, like, a very Canadian question, but, like, I don't know what would be, like, difficult or what would be not so difficult, But, like, to me, basically my point is that, like, I'm not shocked when, like, a British person doesn't know anything about fucking Canada. You know what I mean? I like, let me explain what's going on in Canada. I feel like and I feel like British people are the same way. Where they're like, oh, here's what's going on in the UK. There's different districts and all that stuff.
Gnawing Fetus said Tornado Valley, if it extended north into Canada, would take up about a third of Canada.
Oh, wow.
Don't forget, no one counts Alaska for anything. I've also been to Canada a few times. Live about 4 hours.
Ooh, that's probably the best, man. I feel like that'd be like the best case scenario if you were, maybe I'm biased, but like the fact that like if you lived, like some people live like right on the border of Canada and the US, or US and then Canada. And that to me seems like the best idea where like you can have all the perks of what do you call it? American like guns. If you wanted to get into guns, you get into guns. I don't know what the other ones are, but as a person who kind of thinks firearms can kind of be neat, not like crazy, but like I think it'd be cool to like, yeah, shoot, etc. Anyways, you could go, like drive across the border, get a couple medicine.
We can play this game. Want some US questions too? Let's see how well you do.
Derp says I can't really read. I didn't really hear what it was saying. We can play this game. Want some U.S. questions too? Let's see how well. This is the thing. Derp like Derp was like, oh, guess what, bitch? Snap, snap. I'm about to get you, and I'm like, you've won. I don't know fucking nothing about U.S. That's just my whole point. Is that like I found when I talk to Swedish people, when I talk to Indian people, because Canada's a melting pot of shit. You hear about everything. Everyone always comes to the table about like oh, let me explain to you what India is like, or like how to explain stuff like that to you. America is one of the few people, a few countries where like they show up to the conversation being like, why didn't you know?
Lone Syndicate said side note, since it's in the background, I'm hyped for that tower mode in ZZZ.
Side note, since the background, I'm hyped for the tower. No, is this what that is? But yeah, again, it's not. America's great. Fucking American Canadians, brothers. As much as like we're different sides of the coin. I would still fucking love that you're our neighbors. All these things. I do think you guys should. We should just like assimilate Mexico at this point because it just feels weird that they're there and that we're not. Like, yeah. Anyways, point is, yes, that America is one of the few things that I've noticed which is weird, a little bit. Which is where it's just like, hey, and I'm like, well, I mean, I know some things. Honestly, like a lot of the Western, like the whole world, like knows what's going on because you guys are like the capital of entertainment, basically. So you guys are like where everything is made as far as entertainment goes, which honestly kind of clever
said,
deal.
bro, we are not having the Mexican War again.
I just feel like if Canada was in the same position, I feel like Mexico seems awesome. Like it's like there's like rampant cartel shit, horrible, slaughtering of people, all that stuff. But like the Mexican people seem like the fucking coolest. Their culture's fucking fire as hell. They seem like sweet as shit. They seem loyal. You know what I mean? Like if there was ever a person, like to me, if like this sounds fucked up. This is a fucked up conversation, okay? But let's have it. If you had to pick 3 other countries to like make your own mega country because we're getting crazy here, okay? Mine would be Mexico and Australia. I feel like both those three people would like get on with Canada. You know what I mean? If I could pick a fourth, it would definitely be America, okay? But those three people, I feel like we all have a similar vibe. Similar, like, okay, we're chilling. We have problems. Let me be honest, we have problems. But I feel like it's a similar type of person. You know what I mean? Like, we could melt in together and it'd be all good. Britain, I feel like, is also fire. Very cool. But I feel like they have... I feel like...
Derpinchno said we already own Puerto Rico. Anymore and will be Great Britain.
I mean... All I'm saying is, yeah. If there was ever a culture to subsume, it would be the Mexican culture because it's amazing. Name a better culture that has like better food, like more consistently, consistent like good vibes. You get invited to the cookout all the fucking time, etc. Name one more. You can't. Maybe like Hawaiian culture is similar, but like that's the only one else that I can think of. But still, I'm not sure this is an okay, like a morally right or like just conversation, but we're having it. Yeah. We can play this game with the U.S. questions. Love says similarly for my phone. I've tried alternative every Opera GX replacing my browser, and ads are stubborn even with the built-in ad blocker. Oh, so Brave just got some like mutant shit. Nong says I can't get guns myself.
Calvin 11,234 said better food and consistent good vibes. The islands for sure. Haiti.
Ooh. So Derp says, we already own Puerto Rico anymore and it'll be Great Britain. There wouldn't be an ongoing border crisis if Mexico was so awesome. I mean, well, I mean, to me again, like it's a question of like whether there's an issue of cartels and like very poor government. At least that's my perception of it. It seems very corrupt in a very obvious way, which by the way every like continent I think is very fairly corrupt, etc. But it seems like yeah, it seems like a lot of like political people who are like anti-gang just get fucking beheaded immediately. You're like, oh my god. But we're not talking about like we're not even talking about really the country. We're talking about like the assimilation of the people. I feel like, and I've what do you call it? The Mexican people. I've honestly I haven't really met anyone. I'll be honest.
Derpinchno said, "Have you ever had any Asian food?"
It's great. It's so good. Yeah, Japan is like a flex though. Like Japan is like going for like the hottest girl in the fucking planet. I mean, it's like who's gonna be like, yeah, we'd be good together. It's like no, you're underselling yourself immensely. But I'm a weeb, so of course I'm gonna say that. But anyways, the only people who I've ever had like a not so good vibe with consistently, and I'm wondering if it's just like. But it's funny because I ask, I ask as a Canadian, which is like Canada's like notorious for being like the melting pot of the world. I've known everyone growing up, etc. is great, but I always ask my like people around me. I'm like, so what do you feel about like what is it called? It's Quebec essentially in Canada.
Catman 11,234 said hottest girl on the planet. Now we're getting back into the preference discussion again, Grin. You'll come around to the small Asian gang eventually.
I'm more meaning that, like, I think out of all the systems that seem like... I mean, Japan has its own issues for sure. Again, like, the nail that stands out gets hit, all that stuff, yes. But like, the idea of, like, great public transportation, you know, like, the people seem to be, like, prioritize a shit ton of respect. You know, unfortunate, a decent amount of racism, etc. But the country doesn't have a good... Anyways, point is what I was talking about Quebec there. I want to finish this up so I don't sound like a complete bastard. But you know what do you call it? It was one of the few things, like, as a Canadian, it's like going to like, LA, I think, and asking what they feel about like Southerners, or going to the South and asking what they feel about you kind of know what they're gonna say. But when it comes to what do you call it, with Canada, when you ask any Canadian about like Quebec, or like how do you feel about like how are you treated, it's always the same thing of like, I don't know, they kind of seem a little bit rude, don't they? They kind of seem like they're better than us, yeah. It's always the same thing. I've asked this question to like everybody, and it's always the same thing. Quebec people, very nice, by the way.
Derpenschnoffe said, well, that's because Quebec has French people.
Yeah, so that's kind of what the thing I was saying, which is like the French, which is like, I'm not sure if it's just the way they present themselves is always like, it has this air of like snootiness, and it's just that. It just sounds like that, but it's not actually that. But everyone I've asked, it's always the same thing about like, kind of come across a little rude, kind of come across like they're talking down to me a little bit, like they think they're better than me, and it's like an obvious thing, and I don't know, I feel like that. You know what I mean? Especially as like Canada, most Canada shit is like, yeah, we're not perfect, we're just kind of doing our best. We kind of like, I feel like we would like, the likelihood that you hear outside of like Toronto and like big capital cities about how much people hate fucking Trudeau, like just fucking viciously hate him, it's like a hit rate of 80%. Like it's wild. But yeah. So there's things that you get like as far as Canada, but that's one of the few like negative points we have for somebody. Asian food isn't just Japan. No, I know there's like Korea. There's all these other things. Yeah. To me, I think it is. Well, I don't know. I heard someone say about. Talking about like a lot of continents, but I heard someone say about like. I always get them fucking mixed up, which is terrible. But it's like South. Is it North Korea or South Korea? I think it's North Korea is the one that is like gnarly, and then the South Korea I think is the one that's just. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, the one that's not hardcore crazy, I heard someone say that like they do a lot of work to create an image of like immense beauty and like all that stuff, but the system itself may be a little
South
rough.
Korea is the friendly one.
That's what it is. Yeah, South Korea. That's what I was talking about. I heard people say that like no, like it is good, but it is also like it's a place that I think like they put a lot of money into like their image, so like they make it so that like a lot of the information that goes out is good. Like, you know, if you're a foreigner, I think they give you pretty good deals on things. Whereas if you're a citizen, it might be a little bit less skewed or some weird thing like that. I heard that on passing. I thought, oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about like, yeah, that could be a thing that a country could invest in. Is basically like those kinds of things. North Korea is different. Let's say that. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, that's what it was. I'm not sure what it was. It was like one of these Asian countries, but it had like, it was so neat, but it looked like the weirdest place I've ever seen. Like it was one of the places where it was like a city that was like notoriously a city where like bikes were everywhere, like motorbikes were everywhere. And it had like giant skyscrapers, but it had like some pretty poverty driven areas. The bikes just went the way they went. Like, I don't think there was much traffic. It was just kind of like, let's survive and we'll see what happens. I don't know which that one was, but that one looked really neat. Dude, as much as I know a lot of people got a lot of things to say about like, you know, China or whatever it is, I seen a video the other day. Stop flashing, it make me have a stroke. I seen a video the other day that showed like China's like fucking layout. It looks so fucking cool. It was like there's like 16 layers. It looks like the most cyberpunk shit you ever seen in your life. It looked so cool. I thought, oh my god, it's like a concrete palace. This is awesome. it was like there's 3 different layers, and like there's like trains feeding through like apartment complexes, and I think it's just also like it's just ways for them to like stack people on top of each other because their population is so massive. But it made me be like, oh dude, that looks so cool, as far as like just being like, oh, that'd be fun to live like for a year and probably not more because you'd be like crammed on top of each other. But it looks so cool to see it, like see this weird city weaving into itself. They had like it's hilarious because a lot of it's just like, fuck it, let's just make a bridge like fucking a billion feet tall just cuz there's no reason for it. You clear things but they're like, fuck it, more height. You're like, damn. Fluff says, tourism can be very lucrative thing, so it makes sense that they treat tourists better as they're only there for a short bit. Yeah, it's true. I'm sure some people find it to be a concrete concrete prison for sure. I don't know. To me, though, it does look like, I don't know. To me, I just enjoy that kind of weird design of like, it's just cool to like, I don't know. It also seemed like a lot of it was like dangerous, like where like It's it's like you look like there's been like in this one city there's like 4 moments where you can like look over an edge and you'll die if you like slip. I mean, but they're just like fuck it. It looks cool as shit. Okay. And yeah, but outside of that, yes. What were we talking? What was the point of the stream again? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've answered every question that we need to. We still don't really know the third game that we're playing. I guess I kind of do. It's Withering Waves. So we're going to play Monster Hunter and Wayfinder. And then we are going to have a Withering Waves / Zenless Zone Zero week playing... Yeah, the issue with this one, though, is that it's like Withering Waves has its update in like the middle of the thing. Like the 17th or the 14th or something like that in the middle of this week. So... Well, you get like 4 days to play Zenless and like 3 or 4 days to play Withering Waves, so it doesn't really work. We'll play it by ear. I'll probably just like math this out and be like, okay, this is gonna take. We're gonna do 8 days of this, 8 days of this, 8 days of this, 8 days of this, or whatever it is. You know, like a balance out of like so we actually have days rather than like week 1, week 2, week 3, which maybe
McFlufferkin said, "I say just save the gotcha games for the final week."
But when won't I not be able to go for Camilla immediately then? That'd be shitty. It's a vanity
thing. Said maybe a fun community game, Grin?
Maybe a fun community game? Yeah, maybe. Well, we were kind of already doing that with Wayfinder. Like, Wayfinder is definitely going to be our, like, same thing with Monster Hunter is going to be very much our, like, we're going to start off with, like, a very co-op driven week. Yeah. It's a vanity thing. They want to look good on the outside looking in, but it's great though for those who are loving. Yeah.
McFlufferkin said, or make it the next week after the banner starts, so you have a full week to dedicate rather than breaking up an existing week.
That makes more sense. So what is it going to be? That'll make it the 3rd because you said it was going to be the 14th. So it'd be less like that and more like this. So the last 2 weeks, this is what we'd be doing. We'd be doing Withering Waves and Skyrim VR. I kind of need to think about that more, though. I do think it would be cool for us to, like, sprinkle in some Skyrim VR in between this. And then maybe just do, like, one final massive push of Skyrim at the very end. I don't like the idea of breaking things up too much. But that doesn't... We could do, like, 4 or 5 days of this, and then for the last day on, like, Sunday or Friday or something like that, it'd be Saturday. We could do, like, one Skyrim VR stream just to kind of, like... Because I feel like I'm undervaluing how complicated this is going to be. I'm going to need to download a Skyrim mod pack.
McFlufferkin said either sprinkle in Skyrim VR or swap it with Elden Ring.
Yeah. Yeah, Elden Ring one would be neat. I think that one's probably the one that I'm the most interested in. So I want to kind of do that one soon. It's tough. It's not tough. It's just kind of like, it's not clear, I guess. Like, all the other things seem like they fall into place. That one's like,
Bolty said, I mean, you could also play the Elden Ring DLC on its own.
Yeah, to me, like, the reason why I love Elden Ring, I want to go back and play it, but what makes it kind of, like, super interesting and special to me is the fact that there's a first-person mod, because, like, I think from a content creation perspective of, like, if I wanted to, like, show you guys something that I would pause and look at, it would be something like this, like a person playing, like, Elden Ring first person, I'd be like, oh, what the fuck is this? And I'd check out that channel. If I seen a short pop up with it, I'd check out the channel. If I seen, like, a short coupled with you, like, shooting the shit and, like, having fun and making jokes, I would check out that channel, you know? So I like that idea, whereas, I mean, someone doing, like, the Elden Ring DLC would kind of be cool, but it's not as, like, nearly as cool as, like, the first-person perspective of Elden Ring to me, you know? Same thing as, like, Skyrim VR is, by the very virtue of it existing, I feel like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I wonder if Skyrim, like, improved its, like, visuals in some capacity, or I wonder if, like, what would that looks like in 2024, so they check that out, you know? Yeah, Jackbox, I'm not sure if I'm that funny, or I'm bad at spelling enough to where, like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to, like, actually participate. I've seen people play that game, I still really don't know what the hell's going on. Does that make sense? Either sparkling in Skyrim VR or swap the Elden Ring one. Oh, sprinkle in Skyrim VR or swap the Elden Ring one? Since you may need more time to troubleshoot the Elden Ring mod. Yeah, I mean, the Elden Ring mod, it doesn't scare me as much as the Skyrim one mod. Like, that one to me is the bigger scary one, because I know...
McFlufferkin said one reason I'd say do Skyrim VR first is then you can show an older game in that perspective, then show how neat Elden Ring first person looks.
Yeah, it's true. That would be kind of neat. Yeah, that makes sense. That would be kind of neat. I'm more scared of what do you call it? But that doesn't work because this needs to be here. Because if Wuthering Waves is released on Thursday and then we play it Monday, that's why it needs to be the third week. So how would that work? We need this to be here and we need this to be here. So we can't swap these two because there needs to be a gap. No, maybe you're saying this. Maybe you're saying, well, you put this here and then swap out this here. Like that, perhaps. So we have Monster Hunter, Skyrim VR, Wuthering Waves stuff, and then Elden Ring to end it. Huh. Okay. That makes some sense. I'm not as scared for Elden Ring because I feel like you're downloading one mod and it's gonna rip, I think. But I'm much more scared about Skyrim VR because I'm gonna have to download a mod pack that hopefully doesn't have porn in it. Fingers crossed. I can do the fucking research to make sure that doesn't happen. And then the second thing I'm gonna need to do is make sure that fucking mod doesn't have stupid shit in it that I don't want, like you can't fast travel or some dumb shit. And if it does, I'm gonna have to learn how to untoggle that mod and then reformat it, whatever that means, so that it works without that mod, which is complicated. And again, very much expect. I mean, fuck. If Skyrim VR is like literally the second week we're doing, then you guys might be getting bombarded on Discord. Whether you're Fluff or Cat, I think also said he has some experience modding Skyrim and knows how to like reformat a config file that makes all the mods work together as like its bottleneck essentially. But playing it from start would be better.
Catman 11234 said I've spent too long modding Skyrim.
Hell yeah. While it shouldn't be too tough to get Skyrim VR, well, it kind of does again because of the fact that like I'm gonna be cheating by just downloading a giant mod pack rather than downloading like individual mods, which I know is probably better, but it also makes it so that like Skyrim has all the things I need in it already. It also makes it easier for like people who are like, oh, that's so fun. How do I get that experience? Or like, I'll just download this giant mod pack and that's it, you know. Playing it for the start would be better first person mod since it should also adjust the challenge. Since I doubt it was many mods to worry about. The Elden Ring mod I think is probably going to be pretty chill. One reason, to download. I think it's gonna be difficult. I think I'm gonna need to probably download like multiple things, probably. Wilds, Wildfire, that Elden Ring first exactly. Mod collectors are pain to work with as yes, that's a tough. It also sucks because like the main thing I want for Skyrim is like the ability to like interact with the world and like drink potions and stuff, some spells. About like conjuration and stuff like that, and also like cool chaos spells. I think would be fun because Skyrim VR is like melee combat seems shit, whereas the other stuff doesn't seem that bad. Like magic feels good to use, but to me the main thing I want to use is like companion mods. They're like my favorite thing to do in any of these games is like to hear a companion story and like hear where they're going with that, you know. Fluff says Red being the last example of trying to collect for Cyberpunk, he collected 90 to 300. Yeah, it can get nuts fast. I think the mod I downloaded last time was around like 120 gigabytes of mods, which is like Nog says individual mods tend to bug the game out more than packs. Yeah, well, again, that's the thing that like these packs. The issue is like the reason why a pack is so nice is because like a mod author has spent like 3 months perfectly optimizing all of them to where like they all work as intended. It should work fine. It's good to go. He's like ran a bunch of tests to make sure like they don't conflict with each other. Awesome. But the issue is if that mod guy decides, you know what, I think this mod pack is perfect. Like literally the most perfect mod pack I could possibly make. Let me add the ability to where you can't fast travel and you die in 2 hits. Yeah, that's what this needs. That's what most people want, right? Yeah, let's do that. And you're just like, man, you're so close to greatness. And then you try to detoggle those mods, and it's like, by the way, everything braked. Actually, everything broken. And you're like, why God? Nog says individual mods tend to bug the game more than the packs. Yeah. Yes, but if you remove the disabled mods and you don't want to, then it all breaks. It all breaks apart. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not done with the stream though, but I think we're pretty good. So just a heads up, just in case we want to round this off with some degree of full circleness. For our month of streaming, we are going to be playing...
Lone Syndicate said, if everyone here is hyped for the month of streaming, be sure to slap that like button right in the bare cheek.
You don't have to do it, but you can if you want. It's weird. I've never done it. I don't know any stream I've ever watched. It just feels like... My likes are very coveted, okay? Because I know the algorithm's going to be like, I want more of this, and I would appreciate if it was me, but I understand because it's going to be a month of me. You're probably going to get sick of me, probably chill out now, and then recover maybe down the line. Anyways. We're going to have Monster Hunter because it's going a little quick beta. We'll play it for 2 or 3 days for normal streams. And then at that point, we should be fed into the month of streaming. We're going to be playing Wayfarer.
McFlufferkin said, or like that mod collection I tried that included a bunch of cougar mods that beautified the grandmas.
I don't hate that. The issue is that there's rarely ever any mod that's like that also doesn't say, by the way, you can have sex slaves. And you're like, what? And they're like, what? And you're like, okay. Anyways, so... we're going to be playing Wayfinder. It's a fun little game that's like a good little... It looks like Darksiders meets Dauntless meets Destiny. Some weird amalgamation of games like that. Fun. Ha! Then, next, we're going to be playing Skyrim VR. God help me. We're going to be trying to aim for Summoner and Magic because melee combat is dog shit. I might dabble with unarmed combat because I think that could be fun too, but I'm not sure if that's going to be dog shit because yes. But I just know that like Skyrim stabbing is just like you just do this and you see like a thread of blood hit and it just looks ass. Whereas like punching someone, I feel like could have some wallop. You know what I mean? Like you got a shit ton of unarmed damage. You punch someone in the chin, they just fucking collapse. Like you punch a bear, fire. Anyways, Withering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. I prepared Camilla. I prepared for Camilla like a long time, so I'm ready to like as soon as she drops, bang,
Bolty
all
said
the points.
Maybe just chatting should also be on the list.
Yeah, we'll probably
said the lead artist behind Wayfinder did work on Darksiders, including their studio-made Darksiders Genesis.
Ooh.
So the art style is definitely intentionally similar.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get. I was gonna say though, we can have just chatting probably every Sunday or every Saturday. Sorry. So that I would probably still do that. I mean, we might like dominantly do one thing, but we'll still probably mainly do just chatting and hanging out like this, like these streams, which I quite like. Just help when we have something to anchor us like this. What's that? Yeah. God, I hate being sick. It's the worst. My nose like locks up and I can't breathe. Anyways, we are also going to be streaming at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Today we streamed at 1 p.m. It is 2:44 for me right now, so in 20 minutes, that'll be when we stream every single day except for Sunday, because I'll be needing someday to make things. We'll stream for a minimum of 2 hours, and that is the overall plan. Will it work out? Who the fuck knows? Hopefully I can endure and survive. I make it sound like I'm going to war, but it's just because it all adds up. And I have been pacing myself for streaming and stuff for not as long. Also, do you guys see the gray hairs in my hair right now? You see this little fucking thing? 1 gray hair, 2 gray hairs. I had 3 gray hairs in my beard, and I seen it in streaming because I went and looked at the past VOD. And then I ripped those fuckers out immediately because I thought, not today. Not today. My mom said, leave them in there because they mean wisdom. And I thought, fucking wisdom my ass. It just looked like I'm getting an old asshole, okay? I'll be right back. I use the washroom. I'll be right back.
Bolty said mon gray hair is a mystery to me.
Derpinchnof said bold of you to walk away with text to chat on.
Also, Derp, are you still here? You might be here, but you may have just left as I left. But if you're still here, Derp, I gotta show you something that is the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. Okay. Derp says, I could cause chaos every Saturday. I'm sick. I could every Saturday. That was not me recoiling because of the thought of Derp being here every Saturday. Oh. But, Derp says, oh boy, okay, check this out. Check this out, Derp. I actually gotta pull it up here. Give me a sec. It's the coolest thing you've ever seen.
McFlufferkin said I'd rather go gray than have my hair thin and fall out in my mid-teens.
Fair.
Not that I'd want to trade you for it.
It's fair. It's like, for sure. It's like, I'd rather, what do you call it, get shot in the leg than die. Okay, fair. This. Check this out, Derp. Everyone's gonna roll their eyes when I show it again. What do you think? Well, how do you feel, Derp, when you look at this?
Derpinchnof said some bald men are hot though.
Yeah, most they did a massive poll moving like for women in like balding and stuff like that, and they basically found out that like if you have hair, women think you're attractive. If you are bald, women think you're attractive. If you are in the middle and refuse to go either way, you look unattractive. So it's like if you are really getting to the point where it's looking not like, just fucking shave it off, give it off, go cue ball, get a beer, pump iron like crazy. Yes. Thoughts, Derp? Wait for it. What if I told you this was a keyboard? This is why I laugh. Is I'm just thinking about like Lone's perspective, Raid's perspective, Nong's perspective. And like, here we go again. Here we go. Grinn's on his keyboard shit, and I'm like, shut up. Also, what's good? Raid says also, Wayfinder seems like it has crossplay. So yeah, so we can all play together. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, what am I looking at? Okay, so this is a keyboard, and instead of you spending a millennia to jump 20 feet and hit a button, okay, you simply put your hands on each joystick, which you never have to move from, and you can go up, down, over, left.
I'm bald myself personally because of hair lost, and it got to the point where I was like, fuck, and shaved it all off.
I'm bald myself personally because I lost my hair and got it to the point. Yeah, dude, I'm not sure if it's like the plastics in our bloodstream, but we're all getting fucked in some way, but based on going bald, and I think it might be like the plastics or some shit, or us getting poisoned, the chemtrails in the air or something. But it just seems like we're getting our ass handed to us, the millennial and forward generation for hair growth.
Flufferkin said, I will warn that Wayfinder is limited to 3-player co-op, but we can have different people join per day if there's enough wanting to do so.
Derpinchnof said, oh, this is what they use in courts. So they can type as fast as people talk.
Yeah, kind of. Is that what it is? Yeah. So there's like steganography, which I think is like, it's basically the similar, but it's not quite the same because it's not as accurate. Where like you can like steganography, I think you can like generally jot out general words, but like if you wanted to use specific words and the weirdness of how people speak, it's less accurate. Whereas this, I think, was just recently able
Lone
to.
Syndicate said, "I'll look into Wayfinder after stream."
Hell yeah. But what do you call it? Like this allows you to basically to like chord essentially. So instead of hitting you can basically hit 3 buttons and then just create a word and it'll just snap it in place. And also people say it's like autocorrect on crack, but not really, because you still need to know what chord you're using to like generate a word, like because or essentially or whatever it is. So yes, anyways, I bought it. It was $380. It was far too much money, and I just have to justify it to everyone I meet now. So yeah, hopefully it'll be here by November 4th. Anyways, and I'll have to learn how to use it, which is fucking awesome. The reason why I got it, by the way, is because I recently...
Derpinchnof said also, no, I'd never use this. I'd literally rather die Thai.
Seems like a excessive thing to say.
Bolty said you bought it for WHATTT.
For just a small amount of money. Turns out I'm rich. No, I was sick and I bought it, and I look again. If I ever start going down the rabbit hole on something, guys, I'll convince myself that like, I'll use it. But anyways, the reason why I bought it again is because I started getting into
Lone
writing.
Syndicate said also I enjoy when you bring up the keyboard talk mainly so I can see chat's reaction.
McFlufferkin said be glad I convinced Grin to get Wayfinder rather than Atlas, although I think most of us aren't that opposed to short stacks and furries.
Let's take it.
Why the fuck do we need to get Atlas?
Derpinchnof said if you're writing a story or something, taking the time to think is important. Speed will not help.
No, it does. What do you call it? No, it doesn't. But I was gonna say, to me, what do you call it? What I found was, like for me, my fingers are kind of an issue. So like I spend a lot of time doing this, and I notice my hands getting sore. So the idea that I could just sit there, pause, and write. Also, I don't know if I entirely agree. I think it's to me like a good story. I think could be written in both ways. Like if I had a person that was like, I'm gonna take my time really slowly, and like just think about every word. I don't disagree that you'll have a person who ends up like writing more complex words and more like sentences that really like use this elaborate sentence structure and all these kind of things. But I also think that like a lot of writing, a lot of anything, like a lot of art, like that's a great way to put it. When you're drawing art, do you just immediately draw out your immaculate thing, or do a lot of people like slowly start to get the outline of their art going? They like kind of start piecing together the thing. So for me, like writing is very similar to where like I have an idea of how I want something to be, and then I start writing it out, and I fully know that I'm probably going to come back and probably have to tweak it or adjust it or like reformat the way these words are, but I like to get my idea out, and I get excited as I write, so I want to be able to write. It's not that I particularly like want to write faster necessarily, but I don't want to feel like sometimes like I end up typing something, and because my hands can't perfectly sit in the position that memorizes everything, like keyboards are not very. This is the whole thing about this whole weird keyboard conversation is just that keyboards are like one of the stupidest things that we have not improved upon. Like the fact that your keyboard keys are staggered doesn't make any sense, and all these things.
Derpinchnof said as a writer, I disagree, but you're also nerfed so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I personally, I haven't found it. Like, I think people have different issues though. Like, I've never found there to be an issue in me. Like, I always find, if anything, to me, it's I'm limited based on my desire to want to like write it out and like in typing. Like, my issue is has always been, at least for me, is wanting to get my ideas on paper faster so that I can like start building them out and tie things back into each other, like do callbacks and things that are interesting. Now, again, Derp, what do you call it? If you are a writer, I would highly suggest a book that I thought was fantastic. Maybe you're so deep into writing that you're like, I don't need any help. But I thought it was really helpful as far as the book is concerned. It's called Wired for Story, and it's basically a book that talks about how the neurology of the brain functions and how story
QWERTY and
matters.
AZERTY format keyboards were made because alphabetically made it so people were typing far too quickly.
Oh, I thought the reason why
Derpinchnof said I like to think scene to scene. I spend a lot of time staring into space for what's next.
Yeah, see, I never had that issue, or not issue. Maybe you consider it to be a strength, but to me, like I have never had that thing to be my issue in my head. But I've also I also think that like to me, I've talked to you guys about this, but like stories and storytelling and stuff like that has always been the one thing that in my head has not been a good choice. It's like my brain's constantly like building worlds and shit and like that, which is not. It's honestly like it sounds like, oh, that's neat. It's not neat. It's almost like a fucking annoying, and it's almost like a debilitating thing because you're not like present in conversation sometimes. But I've gotten better with it over time. But I was gonna say, Fluff, what I heard about the whole QWERTY versus all that stuff was the most compelling argument I heard for why keyboards are laid out the way they are is because of typewriters and how in order for typewriters to actually be like function properly, they have to have like their gear cog wire mount go directly like forward. Like it wouldn't be efficient for them to like go like this and to the right and then go back and then go into the mechanism. It was just easier for them to go straight. So by them offsetting the words, it made it so that these little poles could basically interweave between each little click, essentially. But that was the best compelling argument I have, because you've seen...
Derpinchnof said I love story writing. I just started a second channel where I write and narrate horror stories. Very relaxing videos to make.
Ooh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, for me, Derp, but I was going to say, for that book I was suggesting, I would highly suggest it. It's like an audio, you can listen to it in an audiobook, but it basically talks about how, like a person who writes stories analyzes how the human brain most likes stories. So it talks about how, like, there are certain mechanisms in the brain that like even though you don't know you're doing it, you're always trying to anticipate what happens next, though, you know. It's accuracy though, says Nog. Yeah, no, for sure. You definitely. Again, I think the idea is that like, oh, you're typing so fast that you can't do all that stuff. It's tough because if you guys look into that keyboard that I keep bringing up, it has answers for all of these, but I don't want to go into like the weird answer that is like, oh, well, because your hand's basically in a specific position and your finger's always able to memorize like up, down, over, left, rather than a position on a stagnated keyboard that is not a perfect grid. So it has to memorize all of these different clusters, and when you reach over, your hand position moves, so then you have to remember how to get back to your baseline and all of these weird things, which you end up knowing how to do, but it's never as easy as just up, down, over. Like, you can memorize your fingers going up, down, over, left, right, easier than you can the spatial awareness perception of you jumping this way, that way, coming back to center. Maybe you type something poorly, so then you have to delete a bunch. Like, that's something I'm super prone to, is I type something out, and then I'm like, I don't like the way that sounds, and I delete it. And then I type it again. But yeah. What was the last thing I was going to say, though? I was going to say something that I heard. That was the thing. Derp, about the whole storytelling thing, Derp. The one thing I found that was kind of like becoming in a way my like bottleneck. I think we can spend one more day of all my resin on this, because today's Saturday, so tomorrow I'll have to spend it on the weekly thing. Was I found I like the skill of writing, actually, like, and it's funny because the book makes a point to talk about this, and I talk to you guys who are consistently here on stream stuff.
Derpinchnov said, I feel like it would not help with my numbness problem. Part of taking a step back every few paragraphs is so my hands don't go numb.
Oh, what do you call it, Derp? That's the thing. I think so many people who use that thing have talked about how it has completely solved their like carpal tunnel and all these kinds of things, because one of the reasons why you develop like any issues in your hands or like all these kind of weird carpal tunnel type issues is because of the repetitive movement of your fingers, whereas the joystick thing doesn't really account for that, because it has you do like go multiple different directions, so you kind of exercise a lot of things. But anyways, it may be just anecdotal experience, but a lot of these people who use this thing talk about how it's not that bad. I'm not trying to convince anyone to buy it, by the way. Just to me, it's like interesting that people bring up these issues, and I'm like, oh, it's funny that people have talked about them being helped by this weird thing. But that was one thing I was going to point out, is that like when writing, the book makes a good argument for being like, hey, there's a difference between like beautiful writing and beautiful storytelling. And like beautiful writing is by a person who knows how to like perfectly weave together a sentence that's just beautiful, great words used, great structure. But then a beautiful story writer is just a person who's able to like vividly create an image in your brain clearly, you know. I find I'm trying to aim for that one, and it's funny because it's you know it when you did it, because like you can be like, oh yeah, this totally just it creates a visual in your brain clearly of what I want. Then there's other times where like, yeah, it's just kind of a little bit rambly. It's too much words, you know. And that's the part I'm trying to dial in right now. So every day I'm like drilling myself in the morning to like write from it's like 5 different types of perspectives. It's the first person perspective, third person omniscient, third person close, and then I think there's one more. But anyways, it's the type of perceptions that basically writers use to kind of like give themselves some guidance, essentially. Like head hopping is apparently a big issue in writing that a lot of people fuck up, which they talk about, which is like basically you're constantly jumping behind two different types of characters, and the reality is that most human beings can like easily put together or follow like two people talking, you know what I mean? So you don't have to like say.
Said, all right, so it was a commonly taught misconception. Typewriters did originally have alphabetical order, but was later perfected to the Dvorak layout, as it had the most common letters on home row.
Yeah,
Derpinchnov said, I think storytelling is less about visuals and more about message or feeling. I hate too much description.
Yeah. No, again, what do you call it? It's funny you say that though, Derp. We'll just wrap up the two things. I'm confused where that's coming from, because for Fluff's comment said misconception about typewriters is alphabetical. Yeah, I heard someone say that even the guy who like perfected it on his deathbed was talking about how like it's an inefficient system. So like people use it as like a gold standard, but even the guy who like was the inventor of it was like, this is not done. Like this is not a good layout. You know what I mean? And we'll see. I don't know. I really like all the stuff I've looked into that keyboard. It makes sense to me as far as their justification of the choices they made, the trade-offs that they ended up going with. But yeah. But What was Derp saying? I want to reply to what Derp said. I think telling a story is less about visuals. Well, what do you call it, Derp? That was the thing I ended up asking the chat a bunch of times about like.
Tropican said while the QWERTY layout became more popular as it was the first to include the shift key function, allowing for upper and lower case.
Okay.
The misconception was that it was designed to slow typists down.
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I was about to say slow you down. I'm like, I feel like that'd be a weird sell. To be like, we're trying to cripple you so you make less mistakes, I guess, or something. But I asked the chat about a bunch of like, do you know any good writers that are like they're really good about creating like an image in your head, and in an image also creates a feeling and all these kind of things. And people gave me a lot of great answers. A cat gave me one that was fantastic, so on and so forth. But I came back to like one of the best stories that I ended up like finding, as far as like it checked every box I had of like being able to create an image in your head, being able to like tap into like this like world essentially within like a few sentences, being able to like deliver characters' dialogue in a way that was interesting, and people might laugh at me because it's like, yeah. But and also I know the author is pretty not great apparently, or something. I haven't looked into it too much because I don't want them to fucking ruin the stories. But the Harry Potter books, not the younger ones. The younger books kind of written very, very like simply. But if you push into like some of the mid to later books, it's shocking how well, that, at least to me, that that writer's able to like make a clear image happen in your head. You know, and I feel like also it's tough though because I don't know if I entirely agree. Like I do agree that story. Never read Harry, but yeah, I read it just because I was curious about like this is such a beloved book series, surely, and also like kids loved it, adults loved it, so I wondered what they did that was special. I think it's just that they did a really good job about like creating an image in the person's mind. But I don't know if I'd agree entirely that story is purely based on emotions. I guess I do agree. One of the chapters in the books that I read talked about that too, which is basically that like. It was like a story about how a person had their frontal lobe like cut out or something like that. It was the part of the brain that had to do with feeling. And this guy ended up having a big issue in his life because he couldn't like feel emotions as strong as he usually could. So he couldn't associate the meaning of what was necessary to do or not. Because if you think about it, like the reason why you do a lot of things is specifically emotional based. So like the idea of like, oh, if everything is the same, there's no reason to do anything first or second, right? Like the reason why you you tell your mom they love you at the end of the night is because you love your parents. But if you couldn't decide of whether like that was more important to do, or maybe studying, or like they gave the context of a job. So the guy basically couldn't tell the difference between what to do first. Like should I do my work, or should I what do you call it?
Derpinchno said, I think internal thoughts are my favorite part because it's so unique to writing. It's hard to show internal thoughts in a TV show. It's why readings versus watching God has been so different.
Oh, Game of Thrones? You mean, okay, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, the whole internal thought thing is fun. Yeah. It's funny, yeah. I'm a little worried. I was gonna go. I wanted to talk to at the very end of the stream. I wanted to talk to Bolty, because me and Bolty are like thinking of a fun story that we both want to tell, and Bolty keeps Bolty's choosing the path of like laying out most of his story so that he knows what to do when he wants to write it, and I'm doing the path of like writing it as I think of stuff, and I know the overall points in which I want him to get to, but I kind of enjoy the idea of like just writing and letting stuff be filled out. But now that like Derp is saying that she's like also a writer, to me it's like I don't want to be judged by someone who has a ton of experience. Also, I'm about to die. Oh shit! This, and this, and this. But I wanted to tell you guys about stuff at the end of the stream because you guys helped me a lot yesterday, or last week's stream, when I was asking you guys a bunch of questions about like what's a good like inverse character. You guys gave me a bunch of answers, and I used a bunch of them, by the way. Like remember somebody, I wish I remember who was exactly the person who gave it, but someone gave the example of a giant S.
Derpinchno said both writing style have been shown to be successful. Some writers like to plan, like me, but some don't.
Yeah, I can see how both could be good. But I also, it's tough because like to me, I feel like I have like a lot of it in my head, like, and I can't forget it really easily. So I hope I'm not going to be like, oh fuck, what was I want to do? What I want to do again? But anyways, yeah, I was gonna say somebody commented the giantess thing, which is like basically like a cool character or concept would be like an inverse character would be like a giantess who was cursed with a mortal form essentially. And I thought, oh, that's so fun. She'd be like giant and stuff like that. But I kind of had an issue because I needed the story that I wanted to tell was I talked to you guys a bunch about it, but basically I wanted to have a merchant be one of the characters essentially. So it ended up being tough. Also, it's tough because I'm trying to should I explain all of it? And I'm like, I don't want to. It's gonna be so much. Pop. Also, let me do this.
Who's the caged
Oh, Bodhi says, I didn't even write a single story, but planned things.
You're an 8er, said off topic. Did you decide what game you're going to play for a month?
Yes, we did. Let me just cash this in and then I'll show you. So we have decided on all of this. We've decided on the first week we're going to be playing the Monster Hunter Wild beta for like 3-4 days maybe. And then we're going to move into the actual month, which is going to be when I think it's going to be starting. Like, we're going to start streaming at a normal time next week, but then we're going to go all the way through until we actually get to the start of the month, which is, I guess it'd be Friday, so I guess it would be pretty close. Anyways, but probably on, I think the beta for that ends on the 4th, so we're going to basically be doing Wayfinder, just a fun little game that Fluff suggested me. Then we're going to be doing Skyrim VR for a whole week. And then we're going to be doing the Wuthering Waves Camilla banner, and we'll probably do a little bit of ZZ if we run out of content to do in Wuthering Waves, although we should have a lot of content at that point, because Wuthering Waves tends to bring the music, all that stuff. And then we're going to end it with an Elden Ring POV, which is going to be kind of fun. Fluff gave a good reason for, Skyrim VR could be a fun, showcase of how cool that looks like, but then in contrast to Elden Ring, which looks beautiful, and then doing a first-person Elden Ring mod playthrough. And a playthrough is a strong word. We're going to play it until we start having fun. But yeah, so that's what we decided on for our 4 weeks, aka the whole month of streaming, things like that. But yes, that's the plan, Younger. There's also some decent resources to help plan out stories, world building, etc. Yeah, I looked at a lot of them, and so to me, how do I put this properly? So again, I talked to you guys about how one of the things I wanted to do with the story that I talked to you guys a lot about it, and I regret it because we're not doing it. But it's the idea of I really like the idea of a main character that is instead of that is very, very, very loyal essentially. So there could be a bunch of heroines of a bunch of different types of characters that maybe are interested in them, but I like the idea of challenging myself to be I like the idea of there being a main character who's just absurdly loyal to his one person and doesn't shop around and do this weird harem-y nonsense. But I kept trying to think of a story to write, and playing off of the story that I want to tell, which is this isekai story about a person who loves builds, and that being his kind of intrinsic thought. And then liking the idea of one of my favorite things in all storytelling, and this is maybe just a trope that I enjoy, but it's the thing that My Hero Academia does, which is basically it's just a really good hook that locks you into the story and makes you be fuck, I'm here. But it's basically Deku saying, this is the story about how I became the #1 hero. It immediately locks you into being oh shit. So you don't really mind watching Deku grind into the dirt essentially, because he's going to end up as the king dog, you know what I mean? So it's oh, I'm buckled in. So I really like that kind of thing. So I came with this whole idea that I told you guys about the main character having to pick one soulbound companion, getting to pick a skill tree, getting to pick a trait, and all these fun things, which I enjoy. I think all that's fun. Let me cash in that. Good. So anyways, I was basically asking you guys what would be a cool inverse character, because I have the character basically having two characters who he chooses essentially to go into this thing that kind of ends up being anchored to him. Doesn't mean they fall in love, doesn't anything like that. It's just basically could be a rival, could be whatever, but just people who are getting pulled together by strings of fate, whatever you want to call it, right? Anyways, but I asked you guys what the third character would be, and because the main premise of the whole story is built off the idea of a person obsessed with builds and knowing how to optimize things, I like the idea of...
said resources are for those that prefer to plan things out and build a framework for their
stories.
stories.
Oh yeah, no, I know it's not just for me.
Not saying it'd work with your methods.
No, yeah, I know. I just, whenever someone says something like that, I always like to be I put myself in the position of could I use this? And I'm I think I could. I don't know. I don't know if I, yeah, something about it just doesn't seem like it would work, but maybe it would. But yeah, I always, oh, what the hell? Oh shit, this is the whole ass story. Skip? Fight? Maybe? Skip again. Skip again. I don't want to do it. Leave me be. Leave me be. Okay. And also let me cash in all of these daily quests, and just like that, we done. Anyways, there's. I asked you guys for 2 characters, and essentially I came to this conclusion, just to like spoil everything. I liked the idea of the main character having 3 characters, because I kept trying to think of who he was as a person, and the more I kept thinking about it, the more I kind of thought of him as a person who was like, how do I put it? But like a person that I could see people gravitating towards, but they also are basically, he's there, like he's focused on his own thing. So it makes me think if there was ever a person that people were like pulled towards, it'd be this person. It wouldn't be a person who's like, oh my god, I love all of you so much or whatever. It'd be a person who's like following his path and happens to keep helping people because they're kind of there, and then they get pulled to him, if that makes any sense, you know? Kat says, love the GRINN writing. Well, I sometimes get in my head about like, well, what should I explain?
McFluffican said the build crafter versus the meta slave.
Yeah, well, it kind of, exactly, that's kind of the weird story thing that I think is fun.
Lone Syndicate said, so a character like Peter Grill.
Not quite like Peter Grill. Okay, so I have decided on this. So this was the thing. So let me pause because I would like to show you guys this. So once again, if you guys want to play along with this weird storytelling thing I came up with that I thought was fun, especially as like a first story writing type of thing, is basically main dude dies. In this context, he died being really obsessed with builds and doing all these fun things in a very, not just that way, hopefully, again, we're just talking about the baseline stuff. So anyways, he gets pulled into this thing. God basically says, or a god basically says he's going to give him a second chance, so he gives him 3 trials to go through. First trial basically is just a pick your 3 skill trees, or pull the knob, you get randomly 3 skill trees. What could those skill trees be for you? I don't know, but I chose one that I quite enjoy called Grenader, because it's a build class that I really enjoy in video games, stuff like that. Anyways, so the next thing, his next trial basically is choosing your soul-bound companion. So this is someone who like could be a rival, it could be a romance interest, it could be whatever. But basically, the main character walks into a room filled with obsidian black statues, so you can't quite make out the exact details of their character, but as soon as you walk up to them, a scroll pops up and it lets you look at their traits, and the main character being like meticulous, essentially, more than other people, finds out that if you scroll to the very, very bottom of the scroll, you find that it says personality traits, and it's covered in cobwebs because most people don't get that far. Most people just choose on a surface level of whatever they have. Maybe they're like a warrior or something like that. Maybe they look attractive, whatever it could be. Anyways, so the main character sees personality traits, and he sees that personality traits massively dictate an advantage that you may have. This could be like loyalty. Like one of the characters that he ends up choosing is a Forge Maiden that ends up having a loyalty of S, which basically gives her massive progression if she is with the person that has been chosen as her specific person, whatever that could be. Anyways, but there's also other things that talk about a person who is like chaotic evil, and all these other fun stats that could dictate personality traits. It could be something like, introvert. It could be any of these
said he's choosing the power of friendship.
He's choosing the power of friendship. Okay. I missed that. I must have talked over that. Sorry. Anyways, I should put these on. I just talk easier when I can hear myself. That's why I probably should mute text-to-speech just so I can finish this weird train of thought. Anyways, so he ends up picking this Forge Maiden person, and then the next phase you go into, the next trial, is basically your talents. So these talents are basically a massive advantage. You pick from 4 cards that massively give you an advantage. It's either bronze to gold, or silver is of course there as well. And these traits can give you a massive advantage. It could be something like Elven Skin, which gives you a resistance to magic or something like that. Anything you'd find in like a classic MMO type stuff. Some could be, like your mileage may vary, all that stuff. Anyways, the main character in my story ends up fucking up and getting like 2 really shitty bronze talents. And the god, as he's kind of smoozing him up and like making, being nice to him, etc. The god ends up basically looking at him as he's a variable that's different. He just stands out in a weird way because he spent like, I have it written in a weird way of like the main character not realizing it, but him spending like 3 months analyzing like thousands and thousands of statues essentially. So the god always hates when people like judge people on the surface level area. So he ends up giving a deal. Ends up making a deal with the main character to basically be like, okay, you have, I'll take these 2 shitty cards and you can pick 1 more soulbound companion, but it's from our are like are neglected stock essentially. So like all the people that weren't picked are all in the back, like the background of the universe essentially. Go back there and pick someone. So the criteria for this is interesting because you have to think of a character that would have been definitely like thrown away. So a lot of them have like physical characteristics that would be otherwise considered to be strange. So like maybe it's an elf with like gigantic ears. Maybe it's like a lizard woman or something like that. Something that like on a service level people would not like. And the god explicitly says that like I tried to like mix and mash their stats to make them like more interesting, but most people didn't pick them. And of course you kind of infer a lot that like, oh, okay, they didn't pick them because the god never changed their like physical outlook, because of course there's different races in this isekai world that you're going to, so they have to reside in there as well. Anyways, so it's kind of a fun writing challenge to think of like what is a good character that has like enough ailments, enough strange oddity that would make them both not picked, but then also find like the diamond in the proverbial rust or dirt, I guess. So this is what I asked you guys last time, is like, okay, help me find that character, because the main premise of my story is basically like an obsessed build crafter being given a second chance and then going into that world with that mindset. So he ends up picking a Forge Maiden, because the biggest issue that you're going to have at endgame when it comes to like an MMO is gear, so he finds someone who can solve the gear problem. And then the second criteria I had, which was gold. The only other thing that you limit yourself massively when you get to endgame when you're playing an MMO or a build game is, of course, money. So the main character goes into basically trying to find a merchant of any kind. So I asked you guys last time, what would you guys pick? Or like, what would be this character? And some of you guys gave me some fucking awesome ideas. One of them was, I actually used one of them, which was again, it was like a giant S cursed to live in a mortal body. And to me, I wanted her to be a merchant. So I had this idea. It was when I was writing, I was like, okay, this could be fun. How do I build up a character while subsequently breaking them down? So like, make them very neat and cool and happy that you learned about them, but also making them like, it's not the right choice, essentially. Because the main character goes for another person. So he has these two options. He ends up talking to the reader and basically being like, okay, I have these two options. One is this giantess who has amazing strength, and you end up going into her skill trees and her personality traits. But the one thing that I kind of made her seem like is she's kind of like, she has a skill that basically makes it so that whatever her highest stat is, it ends up being equal to her strength. So like if she's a merchant in this case, which she is, she has a skill tree called like deal. It's some weird skill tree basically that makes it so that she's great at like executing deals, but that's kind of where it ends. So the premise that her like capstone is that it takes all of her all of the, like the deals and the financial things that she makes and converts that into like a stacking buff that gives her more and more strength. So it's good. Essentially, I wanted to make the character, I'm doing a bad job of explaining it, but it's kind of like she's a character that is a like half merchant, half like massive strength attacker, essentially, like strength character, which the main character is like, it's good, but it's not good for what I need. Like the main character knows that the only thing he really needs is like a merchant. He needs someone who's like has scaling crazy abilities when you get into like endgame, essentially. What I ended up choosing, which is fun to me at least, I ended up choosing that. I kind of put my cards on the table too much yesterday or last time, because I ended up talking too much about how what do you call it? I really like the idea of like, I haven't seen very many like isekai or anything like that where you have like a fairy, like a little pixie thing as like a companion. And I like the idea of like there being like this, it all makes sense. Like that just to me works really well, of like, okay, you have this hoity-toity, evil neutral character, or lawful evil, I think I have her as. Like this spunky little like kind of fairy who is like the inverse of what you think a fairy would be. So instead of her like loving the forest, she loves the shit out of capitalism and like machines and making wealth. I thought you could play into that in a really fun way. So I love the inverse of that. And two, I like the idea of also it being like a very clear limiting factor of like again, you're supposed to be this like badass deal maker, and you're the size of like a fucking like a tiny little bottle, like you're small. Like how hard would it be to make a deal with someone with that? You think people would try to like leverage their power in all these fun ways. Kat says, gotta head out. Thanks for stopping by, Kat. Hope I can talk to you again. Hopefully we can have a ton of fun for that month of streaming. Hopefully I can see you a couple times then. I would love to see you more than that, but of course, enjoy the rest of your day. Anyways, so I ended up choosing that a character, and also I like the idea of her being really weak in the beginning, and then gaining like massive power over the end. And I have her skill tree, which is so fun because again, one of my favorite things about this story writing stuff, is like finding a way to make the reader like super excited about where things go. So with this whole weird setup, I can condition the reader to basically be like, hey, they have like one or two skills that makes it so that they are like, it basically hints at like them like exploding, what is it called? Like they take a fantasy world and you inject a shit ton of like, what's the word? You not modernize it, but like steampunk level industry injection, essentially. Like her skill tree hints at that. Like we're like, oh, if this character does get momentum, she's going to birth like a crazy industry level stuff. Which is what the main character is looking for as like a build synergist person, which is basically like what skills have the most amount of value to be manipulated and like extracted. So even though this character starts off weak, if you're able to survive and get her like leveled up, she just becomes like a fucking tank, and all that stuff. Anyways, so I came up with those two ideas. I thought like the Forge Maiden's fun and the Pixie thing is fun. But what to me got me, I ended up having this like random dialogue that happened with the main god and the main character, where basically, and I thought it was funny because like the god basically starts like shitting on the main character for like missing your previous world's soul-bound companion, and the main character kind of goes off about like I'm kind of good at being alone and by myself, and then the main god is basically like, yeah, but the person that you were tied to, maybe they weren't so good at being alone. Maybe they weren't so good about being like, to themselves. And, it's kind of shitty for you to kind of like leave them in the outside to like be in the cold. The main character kind of gets affected by that as he's thinking, and he's kind of doing all that. So I had this moment where I thought would be really fun. And this is kind of where it shifted, where I'm like, fuck, I think I want to add a third character. Especially after like the god sees how like the main character is like treating all of these statues with like the utmost care. And is clever and all that stuff, to where I have this ending moment where like the main character starts walking off into like the infinite fog, about to be reborn after he made all his choices, and the god basically, and I have this moment where there's like a statue as he's leaving the like the second choice of statues, and there was one that was like almost completely dead, like degrade, like the statue is completely rubble at this point. Why have the god at the very end of the chapter call back to that statue and pick up like the dust that is essentially all that's left at this point, and he's holding like this tiny little orb of light in his hands, and he says with a simple line of don't miss each other this time. Then he blows the light in the direction of the main character, hinting to the viewer that, oh, this is the soul of the person that you missed in your previous life. Let me take someone who has already thrown away this soul, and let me take the soul from your previous life, this soul-bound companion, and throw it into the other one. So I need a third. And one of the things, there's the whole reason why I went on this tangent. Forgive me for taking so long. But one of the things that to me has always racked my brain is like, okay, well, what's that third character? And I really, really like the idea of, I don't see it used a lot, but it's an orc, like a female orc specifically. Elves used constantly. All these tropes are used to death, but I don't see a lot with a female, fucking orc. So, this is what I chose. Let me hide this because this is going to be insane. We're going to make that real tiny because I don't want you guys to... Actually, I can just crop it. All right, so let me show you guys this. Anyways, so I ended up basically getting... I was like, what the fuck how should this character be? What do they look like? Yada, 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 all these kind of issues. So this is what I came to the conclusion of. This was something I thought was so fun to look. So I found a bunch of art, and who would have thought art is like the gateway to like mad creativity where you're like fucking brains juiced. We were just like, oh my god, this is so fun. So I want to show you guys this. To me, immediately, it was like, oh, I know what this character is. I know how fucking badass they are. This is so much fun, and I can't wait. But essentially, I found one image of like, it was clearly AI generated shit, but it was such a cute image of like a cheeky little fucking orc girl on the side of on the side of like a castle wall, etc. And then you see another image of her like as maybe like 18, maybe a little bit older. And I was like, oh, that's so fucking cool. And you see her as like a badass, fully formed character. And I was like, fuck yes. And then of course these characters, I don't know if I want her this to be when she like what she ends up like growing into when she gets older, but I do think I want this one to be her grandma, because I have a way that you could tease that into the thing. But it's just crazy to me how like 4 images can make your brain explode with like oh, I could totally see like exactly who this character is, like this cheeky little orc girl who's like poking fun at the main character because he is an oddity, because that's kind of the whole weird story I have of him, is like eccentric freak who's like one of the rules of this world is like effort is the only thing that matters. So like him knowing that, so him just pumping iron in a mountain range, because that's how I have him meet her, is basically like there's an orc tribe in this on the other side of this mountain ridge, and that's how he does it. Pulled AI to create a character. Well, not really AI. I just went to fucking Pinterest and typed in orc girl, and I got a bunch of options that popped up. But I found these 2 in sequence, and I thought, oh, this just to me, these 2 make it seem like, oh, this is a character that could totally work, and I could totally win over the hearts of readers, given this little filter, like given this like, oh, there's a cheeky little orc girl who's constantly teasing the main character as well as like pseudo supporting him. And they grew up to be like childhood friends, essentially. Like that's fire. that's fire as hell. And also, the artist did such a good job about this, at least to me, that to me it does feel like, this is kind of what I want to write into the story. But this is the 3rd character, which basically is a combination of like a lost, like a thrown away soul, essentially, a person who was never picked because they were an orc girl, and just no one picks orc girls, unfortunately, because they're a little bit more muscular and they got a lot more this and that, right? What do you call it? And then there's also like the reason why this main orc girl is like infatuated with the main character is because she comes from his past life that he ended up missing, like his soul-bound companion that he ended up missing in his previous life. So this is the god basically like, okay, here's one more for you to find, and sends it this way. So it kind of makes sense why this character is infatuated, and I think it's a reward mechanism for the reader to be like, oh, is this the 3rd person? Like, oh, of course this fits the MO of like, yeah, of course an orc girl would be like passed up on, as well as why is she so interested in the main character, and this being the whole sequence of it. But to me, it was just such a fucking awesome like realization of like, I got my character. And like the previous character that I had, let me show you guys the other things, my other storyboarded things. I'll show you guys the images I got, because I think they're fun to look at. Let me take an image of all these. Capture, pull that up, take this too, capture this, and then this. Capture. All right. So these are the other ones. The other ones I have. I appreciate you for bearing with me, by the way. I know not everyone's into this, but I'm happy that y'all are stomaching it with me. So that's the orc girl, but this is the Forge Maiden, which, forgive me for this one being down bad. I can't help the Pinterest. It doesn't let you have all of it that you want. But yeah, I love the hairstyle of I like the overall vibe of this one, like classic, Forge Tavern Maiden. This one a little more hardcore, which I liked. And then I seen this one, which had like just beautiful face structure, which I thought, damn, beautiful. And then I seen this hairstyle, which I thought was fucking rad. So I thought that's the hairstyle that I want. Of course, I wanted this kind of build because I wanted her to not be like a little soft thing. But anyways, and then this is what she becomes. I'm not sure about the hair color, but I like the transition of it. Anyways, that's the Forge Maiden. That's the second one. And this, I didn't have as much for the Pixie, because the Pixie comes later down the line. The Pixie's like the fucking one I have to think about the least. But I like the idea of this like fucking ferocious look, you know what I mean? I'm not sure if you guys can see it properly, but like just this fucking cold ass stare, locked in. Like this hairstyle a lot, similar to this one. Thought that'd be cute. And then just a general idea of like how big she is, you know what I mean? So that's the Pixie person. And then the main character, this is going to require an abnormal amount of explaining, so forgive me. This one. Give me a minute. This is the main character. All right, give me a minute. Also, let me see. I always make art boards for my characters. Yeah, it helps a lot. It helps you like get inspired for like the personality that they can have.
Gnawing Fetus said, okay, Bakugo.
Listen, okay, calm down. Okay, so for me, there's a moment that I have in my head, because I kind of went into it, but like, I talked to you guys about it a lot, but it's like the backstory of this main character is that he pursued making fireworks, because that was his dream. When he was a kid, he seen fireworks. So he ends up failing in that ambition because of all the problems that happen with like trying to make that fireworks are like a trade skill that's passed down from generation to generation, so it's just hard to make work, as well as you're dealing with explosives, so it just makes it very hard to make work anyway. Then I knew I wanted his main build to be explosive. Basically, it's one of my favorite build types in general, is Grenader of any kind. Anyways, so I ended up having him take this skill tree called Grenader, which ends up like staining his eyes with like this like sizzling color. Which is why I like this little art that shows like almost like a shattered iris, which is kind of what I want. I want like an iris that is almost like breaking apart as if like about to explode. People are gonna say Bakugo. It's not really Bakugo because I don't have him like shooting fucking explosives from his hands or anything like that. But anyways, but the reason why I got this too is because to me it's the most like defining characteristic moment that I have for the main character, where I have him like save like a younger version of the Forge Maiden essentially. Again, I talked to you guys about how like he visits. There's like this old man who visits his old grandma in the mountains and stuff like that, and he brings his daughter, and his daughter happens to be this soulbound companion type thing. Anyways, where is this this thing? But I have this moment where, like, and this is to me what I kind of wanted, is I wanted the main character to not be your classic isekai-looking dude, which is just like basically like a black-haired kid who's like mop head. Looks like every anime character you've ever seen. I actually kind of like the idea of making him look like a little bit of a delinquent. And I have this moment in my head that I can vividly see, which is very similar to like this fucking crazy smile behind like a bunch of explosives, essentially. Because that's his whole thing, is he always liked fireworks. So for him, everyone sees explosive, but for him, it's just like this beautiful cascading light. So when he ends up saving the Forge Maiden girl, it's not like this like heroic moment where he like saves her in this horrible way. What she sees is this person like covered behind explosives as he's like smiling because he thinks it's beautiful, and all that stuff. So I that's the moment that I have, and that's why I got these 3 images. This one's kind of not so good because it's very AI generated, but these 2 are like much more. They have an essence like the childhood wonder of like just blissful happiness, which I wanted. And then I like the idea of him making him look more like a like a delinquent. So I like these 3 images a lot, specifically this one because I don't like the tattoos and shit. I just like the hairstyle, short on the sides, kind of stuff like that. This one also shows again that kind of like smile, and this is kind of the personality type that I want him to have. This is weird. This is where it gets into deep shit. This is where like I have the whole overarching story that I hinted in even in the first couple chapters, which is basically like the skill tree that he has is the embers of a bigger skill tree called Boom King. So he has Grenader, but the fully leveled up skill tree, which he's gonna eventually unlock, is called Boom King. And it's basically like there's a whole bunch of backstory fun stuff that I can have of that. But it's basically like this skeleton wearing like this yellow crown that's pure explosives. Anyways, so I have this idea of like him having like this skeleton face wearing the crown way down the line when he kind of becomes fully formed, as his like build is 100% complete. So that's why I put that in here. And I also just like the idea of him again having like this like certain characteristics that like make him specifically like have a look to him without being too much. Like I like the idea of him having that type of earring on his ear.
Lone Syndicate said, so you basically gave him that one Axton skill tree from Borderlands 2.
Not Axon skill tree. I don't think I gave him the one Moe's skill tree a little bit. That's one of the things, but yes. Yeah, I guess, but maybe an Axon skill tree. But yeah, I guess it's more like Moe's. I guess Moe's skill tree is one of the things, but I still haven't found. I do want to give him 2 skill trees, and I don't know what the second skill tree is. That's the only the thing I haven't answered yet, and I'm like, damn it. Smash, says Dirt. What do you mean smash? I'm just listening to Grin talk away. I'll chime in. I have a thought. I'm digging the 5 images on the blacksmith. Yeah, what do you call it? Nog says, could tell a few chapters sprinkled through here and there, told from the Orca. Yeah. To me, that's the fun part. Again, I cannot describe to you guys how I was writing, and I was like, okay, I don't really I know like the moment of like, I know the sequence that I thought would be really fun for the reader, which is to kind of like, here's a bunch of fun prompts. Like, hey, if you were given the same choice about like, roll the dice and see what kind of skill tree you get, what would be the 3 skill trees you would consider? What would be the character that you would pick on this soul-bound companion? Fuck me. What would be the traits that you would get? Like, it would be fun for, if I was reading it, to be like, oh, I would make this build, and I would do this character, and I would choose the elf, because I think elves are beautiful, and all these things, right? And I also think it's fun for the reader to be like, why is he choosing, okay, I haven't told you guys his 2 traits, which I'm kind of worried. You guys might say it's OP or something, but anyways. So I know that part, and then I kind of wasn't sure about how I wanted to do the beginning. But I really like the idea, and it's one of my favorite like formats ever, but it's like adopted by the huntsman in the mountains. I like that. It gives the character just enough depth. And then I seen this image of the orc girl, and this is what I was talking about how like I was really interested in making a story that was like about a main character who was like just obsessed with one person, even though he had a bunch of suitors around him. It was hard to write that story, I found. Whereas as soon as I kind of abandoned that, and I just let the story write itself a little bit in my head, it just like fired off, and I'm so excited to write now. Because one of the things is I like the idea that I could tie in her meeting him, and then her basically like talking to him about like this weird spire that they found in the mountains hidden away somewhere. Nog says, MCOP, no such thing. Well, it's not OP exactly. So again, the question is you're able to pull 4 talents, talent cards essentially, that give you an advantage going into the new world. The main character pulls 2 that are shitty, so the god says, okay, I'll take these 2 shitty cards. You can pick another soulbound companion, but you have to pick from the like old discarded stock. Okay, so go pick one. So he picks the one fairy girl, right? So then he picks 2 other talents, and these other 2 talents I think are fun. But one of them is called General Knowledge. But I like the idea of playing with the fucked up words of a card and making it seem like making it way stronger than it is. So one of the things about General Knowledge is general knowledge to who? So if a god wrote the cards, then it's general knowledge of a god, which makes it much more powerful. We could also do a different thing, which is to say, okay, it's general knowledge. And maybe the god knows, like, okay, it's general knowledge based on this world. But general knowledge you could also like have fun with that idea and be like, oh, this is general knowledge based on the entire collective world's understanding. So say if there was like rune magic that was like long since forgotten by artisans. Well, the main character would still have access to that because it's general knowledge. It's general knowledge at some point in time. You know, so you can have fun with like making that skill just good enough to where the main character would have an advantage, but not too much of an advantage. So he has one more thing, and I had this whole build up where like the god is basically telling him to like try to leverage the I don't want to spoil it, but like the Boom King essentially that is a part of his skill tree. So he's like, try to listen the next time you try to pull a card. Just try to like close your eyes and try to listen for whatever presents itself. So he does. And what the second card he has, this is the one that I think might be a little bit OP. What do you call it? The second one that might be a little OP is his card ends up pulling is essentially you're able to take whatever stat. So how to put it? You're able to pick any stat. So like health, attack, defense, all these kind of things, or endurance, whatever you want to kind of go by. Maybe we do the New Vegas skill tree or like status stuff. So you're able to pick any stat, and you're able to increase it by 30%, and no matter whatever happens, that stat will always be your highest stat. So basically means that if you've had like a shit ton of strength and maybe you did a shit ton of endurance, you'd always be equal essentially. And you're not equal, sorry, it'd be a little bit more. So whatever stat you'd pick. Which is it's the only he gets bronze, silver, gold. So that's what he ends up getting. So it's not like giga crazy god tier luck, you know. But he gets this one nice gain, and it's specifically a gain that he kind of is given by the Boom King. Essentially, this old god that ended up ruling the world many years over, or something like that. That I haven't really thought too much about, but I like the idea of it. Anyways, So I gave him this skill, and of course, what is the one stat that you would make your dominant stat, ladies and gentlemen? If you're dealing with classic MMO RPG stuff, what is the one stat that, if you probably were thrown into a situation where you had no control, you're not that much of an understanding about, what would be the stat that you would buff? Or always make equal to whatever your high stat? Luck, baby! It's fucking luck! Exactly luck! There's only one fucking choice, it's luck! Okay? I love it. Fluff was the fastest fuck. Ah! Exactly. And it's I kind of put it in there, but he he kind of speaks to the idea that they're like, out of all the stats that I was able, like, he scanned for months and months all these characters that are going to exist in this world at some point.
Lone Syndicate said, so Kazuma gotcha.
Kazuma? Yeah, maybe Kazuma. Maybe Kazuma. But I just like the idea because it's such a fun crit or scaling or strength. Yeah, maybe, but I also think that, like, especially if the main character just got his ass beat by, like, shitty chance, you know what I mean? Like dog shit chance. Like he pulled 3 cards, bronze, silver, fuck me. So then he finally gets something that could give him an advantage in the game that is luck. Of course he's picking luck. And he also notes that luck is one of the few things that he can see never makes any adjustment. Like it's almost like everyone's luck is flat. And he explains this to the god, and the god's like, that's pretty clever. Like if you put your one, like this would basically make it so that you have an abnormal luck so long as you built your other skills up, whatever that other skill could be. I also think, like, to me, it's just really tempting because I love the idea of, like, justifying in some small way plot armor. Just like a little bit of plot armor, though. Not a lot, especially not at the beginning, but just something. And also, to me, it's like, it's the only choice that you could ever make is luck. Because, like, every other thing can be improved. But luck, shit, man, that's, like, impossible, unimaginable how you can improve such a thing. So I love that. And yeah, that was the one stat that I could give him that was like powerful, but it could have been misused. So like an idiot would put it into like strength because they're just like, let's just dump it into strength, and the strength's going to be the best. But it's like, yeah, but you can improve strength just like the good old fashioned way. Like there's other things that you can do. The one thing that you would like seemingly be inconsequential is that, you know, is what do you call it, to adjust like your chances of anything, especially considering we'd already talked about like he's very like MMO rot brain.
Raid said, all right, it's been a pleasure as always, but I'm a head out for today.
Thanks for stopping
by,
Have a
great
Raid.
Rest of her day, Grin. I'm looking forward to the stream marathon next month.
Me too, buddy. Thank you for being here. Hope I can see you again. Bro discovered why people draw. Derp says, I'm sharing my character. And there's ooh, I can't wait. Not such thing, Grin. All right, before we end, it doesn't really matter. We can do it next time, maybe. My brain is getting overload with. Yeah, I was about to say it's tough. You just tune me out. At a certain point, you just got to tune me out. But that's like all of the stuff caught up to this point, which I think is fun. I just finished up the first like push, which is basically talking about like the god stuff, and that's why I'm so excited to start writing again, because I get to dabble into the arc that to me is going to be the most fun, which is him like grinding. him grinding, getting stronger. Now he says charisma, or yeah, charisma's a good one too. But I think it's kind of like it's fun not doing too much charisma. Anyways, the last thing that I have, which I thought was a fun, cute little ad, because again, I really enjoy the arc. Like if you can tell
Bolty
within the
said the manhwa I mentioned does a good base as for how grinding could look like.
Oh yeah, what do you call it? That manhwa you sent me, by the way, Bolty. If that was you who said that, I haven't seen it update itself yet. It's so fucking good, by the way. I wanted to talk to you about it, but it's awesome. Also, did you enjoy the one I sent you, or is it not quite your speed? Anyways, the last thing I have about the story that I thought was cute, because again, I think like something that is very valuable, at least for me, when I read stories, is if you're able to hint at something greater. So like hint at something that's going to pay off in the future. Like it makes you almost excited to see whatever that's going to be, you know, whatever that's going to present itself to be. So to me, I kind of did that with like, okay, there's these soulbound companions. If you think these characters are interesting, they're going to come up in the future. How is this main character going to manipulate these two skills? Of course, I mentioned a couple that are like, oh, this could be totally broken if he manages to get to it. All these kind of things. But the one thing I left the thing with, which I need to do a better job of writing it in a way that makes the reader like understand its gravity to some extent. But I have two moments where I basically switch the perspective to the god's perspective of like who is essentially watching this boy make all these choices. This man, I should say, make all these choices. And finally, it builds to him being like, all right, fuck, I gotta look at what this kid's like stats are, because the main character is like a lot of the chapter is like going through the stats of other characters, kind of weighing them and having fun with like the possibilities that could exist within this world. Hopefully intriguing the reader to think about what like variables could exist moving forward. But then
Lone Syndicate said, I will say my favorite stat is RPG is luck because it always leads to some wacky builds.
Always, baby. Sometimes it's boring and it's just critical rate, which is ass, but yeah. The last thing that I have him do, which is finally like you get so curious to see what the hell this main character stats are, because they make a point to talk about how like your personality traits are dictated based on like many other like maybe lives or whatever you want to call it. So like the reason why you're loyal is there's a reason for that. The reason why you maybe are like more sensitive, there's a reason for that. The reason why you maybe don't trust people, there could be a reason for that. Maybe it's people passing you up in the same little fucked up game. So on and so forth. So the main character, the dude wants to look at his character traits and see if he has anything special. And the one last word of the chapter that I have is him reading out one of his only special traits. But I think it's fun. It's I haven't thought of a cool enough name, but it just basically says King's Heart. And then I have the chapter end. So like to me, I have another version of that where I go way more in depth with like King's Heart. It basically explains that like people are drawn to this person, loyalty percentage increase, what do you call it, if this person like pulls people who have been treated poorly, it's hard to describe, but hopefully I wrote it in a way that describes it like people are drawn to this main character, to this like person who possesses this, and it also hints at the fact that like this person is almost destined to rule, which to me is such a fun, like, again, it's the kind of like the My Hero Academia moment where it's like, this is the story about how I became the #1 hero. It's kind of like the story of like, oh, this is the story, and that honestly that's probably the title of the book, so maybe I don't need to do that. I think the title of that I enjoy somehow is like I got it's some sort of weird isekai thing I told you guys about, but like basically like I conquered a continent because I love builds or some stupid shit. It has to be just easier than that, but that's kind of something to hint at like, oh, this is the story, this is the overarching story of what this is, you know? Gnong says RN Jesus hates me, so I'm I'm not a fan of like, yeah man, no. But if anything, that's like that's the one thing that you would pick, because you're like, yeah, going into the next life with a fuck ton of luck, hell yeah. Also, like, it's a way for me to justify him not having a shitty start, like him not just getting like beat the shit out of by his parents or something. So I'm like, hey, the luck's that made it so that you have like a decent enough family. You're not born in like a place that is like completely war zone ridden, you know. It's like kind of like plot armor without too much plot armor, you know. My plot armor will be the survival. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't want it to be like too much plot armor. I just kind of want it to give like a reason for certain things. I also think if I play with that idea enough, I could think of a lot of fun ways that luck could present itself, you know. And my chest skill will be gluttony thing. I'm packing for good with my MC. The manhwa I mentioned is a good based on how grinding could look like. Yeah, for sure. I kind of like the idea. Yeah, like that the manhwa you gave me is like, to me, like just a fucking dopamine driven, like bang 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 bang. It's just so much excitement. But yeah. But mine, I think I like the idea of like day 50. And it talks about how he's, discovered these type of things, and he's like training in this way, days 800 and something or something like that, and it talks about how he's kind of slowly making massive headway, and then starts getting a little bit insane. Yep, currently reading. It's good, nice. Also reading the Omniscient Readers simultaneously. Ooh, that's tough. That one's like a very good, but also it's not like an easy, I don't know, it doesn't seem like an easy read. Like it's entertaining, it's good, but it's also like there's a lot of like turmoil stuff happening, so you're like constantly like driven, like, oh my god, anxiety in the house, Fluff said, I'm surprised there hasn't been a game system where the stat are based on the 7 deadly sins and captured yeah, exactly, that'd be fun. Yeah, like a greed and stuff like that. Yeah. One says, I will say my favorite stat in RPGs is luck because it always leads to some wacky builds. Yeah, New Vegas was the one who actually did a pretty good job about it, I think. I think it, like, there were certain moments where you could do, like, silly things, like do something to surprise somebody, and it actually works out because you have such high luck. Luck is probably the most fun stat in Fallout games, but other RPGs don't tend to, make much use of it. It's just like loot chance or critical hit. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, though, luck is one of my fave attributes. You can focus into Metamorphosis Fantasy Persona. I forget what it does. Okay, I'm curious. I wonder what that is. But because I don't want to be a liar, let's do it. Even though Kat was not able to stomach our madness for the whole stream, and I wanted to do this with Kat because I thought it'd be interesting to see what he would say. But let us go down the rabbit hole of VTubers. First of all, Lone did send a VTuber that he just found, and this is what she looks like. First of all, hot damn, girl looks crazy. I do think it checks all the boxes.
Volty said maybe dedicated writing sessions. Grin, how about that?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think, because I think like again, Volty, the problem, you mentioned it and it's probably like the best description of it, but you're like, this is like information overload, which but I don't know how I can like explain the story whilst like describing the moments that are meaningful. You know what I mean? Like, in order for me to kind of describe the funness of the main character choosing this choice or this path, I have to explain like the build up to that to some extent, you know, or else it ends up hitting like nothing because it's like, okay, well, why did he choose that? And you have so many more questions. So in order to like explain all of it, and I can only imagine this problem is getting much worse when you eventually get to the like deeper into the book. So to me, that's the only issue that I think could arise, you know. Derp says we could all share. I mean, that would be awesome. I would love it. So maybe it's a good like time to do the whole story thing. That'd be awesome. I would love that. Yeah, maybe that. If everyone manages to to share their stories, that'd be fun. Or even a premise that they have, that would be fun. That could be awesome. Anyways, okay. VTuber thing. So if you guys have never done this with us before, let me just explain what the hell's going on. So Fluff ended up showing us a bunch. No, actually it was Lone who first showed us a couple VTubers that he thought was kind of cool, and then we kind of ended up talking about them, and we kind of started talking about their overall design. So what we do here, as we wind down this stream, we basically try to quantify. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's basically like the it factor for design, like art, I guess. So it doesn't mean that like the art's not beautiful. What we're specifically trying to judge is whether this design is unique or captivating enough to where when you're scrolling through like streamer land or YouTube land, that you would pause because there's something about the design that catches your eye enough to where it would do it. So an example that we always give is like a lot of VTubers always look like they have various like stylistic, super styled design clothing, like super runway stuff. It's not that it's not pretty. It's not that it's not well drawn. It's just that it just looks like a fashion icon outfit that you've seen before. It doesn't make you ask a question. Everything about what Lone just showed us, to me, makes me ask a fucking question. Why is she covered in candy? Her hair, it looks like cotton candy and goes apeshit. What do you call it? The color is super bright. The fucking eyes and the face, wild. What's with the eye being a different shade? A lot going on. I think it's good. I think the eye might be a little too much. The eye, like, there's already so much going on with her face and like the teeth and the candy. That yeah, the eye I think is excessive. but yes. Maybe dedicate writing session now. We all write and share our stories. That's 100%. Yeah, I like that idea. I like the idea of us, like, if it was just me, like a writing session, blech, but if it's all of us like brainstorming and having fun thinking about cool premises, that sounds fire. Okay.
Lone Syndicate said, so this is Hysteria and she is a crazy berserker, and a few weeks back an ad for her debut pop up and I was immediately drawn to her. She looks cool, some real eye candy, ha ha ha.
Ooh, so she's a berserker. That makes sense. She looks insane. She looks like a character from SNK fighter game. Free content for us with less eyeballs. Meanwhile, I just share my personal favorite, mostly from HoloLive, so I don't have Love can't critique, because we can't pay attention to the VTuber personality because they'll just win us over. They're all way too charming. No, we have to judge them purely on an aesthetic value. Okay, not even if it's aesthetic value. It has to be would you pause? So like the barometer is always 1 to 10, 5 being that you would pause, maybe watch 10 seconds of their clip, but otherwise you don't have any questions really. If it's like 7 or 8, you're like, what the fuck's going on? What's with this character design? Why do they look that way? What's going on with their
Lone
their
Syndicate
story?
said she also like FPS games, although I haven't really gotten the chance to catch one of her streams.
Okay, I like the design. I like the idea of like a lollipop berserker crazy thing. It's like a contrast where it's like she's crazy, she's a berserker, but also she's all poppy and like bright and colorful. Meanwhile, I share that. Nog says, I give it a 6. Too much faded pink. For me, I give it probably an 8. Nah, I'd say 7. The pink is just a little overused. You make a good point, Nog. The pink is a lot. I think if it was like a different hair color.
Schnoffe said the only VTuber I've watched smoke meat in 500 cigarettes.
Damn, does not sound like like a normal VTuber. It sounds like a yes, a whole ass thing. But I would say for me, it's a 7.5. What do you guys think? I also appreciate Nog throwing his, because that is hella interesting. Ooh, look at this. This is the other shadow monster you see. Ooh, it looks like Booby a little bit. Yeah. Up, down, down, cross. That's cute. Let me scroll up to a lot. There's a lot of scrolling, because we have to find the images of Fluff bombarding us with lovely VTuber stuff to judge harshly. There we go. Ooh, some of these look pretty cool. Scroll!
McFlufferkin said it should be pinned.
Ah, well, that's too late. I'm already down. Shit. Shit, fuck, shit. I don't know if I guess I could hit pin now and jump. There we go.
Lone Syndicate said, I love these VTuber segments we have.
Me too, Lone. Me too. I'm not sure if my voice can handle it. But we'll do our best. Okay. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. I'm not sure who this is. I'm sure the AI voice will tell us everything. But I'm not sure if I like it. Cute. Long as fuck legs, first of all. Long as fuck legs. Could be a little bit bigger on the calves, I'll be honest. Same with the thighs, kind of weak. But he's got a robot arm. He's got an emo vibe, okay? I feel like we should not choose this because it's the weakest one. This one looks too... I hate it, actually. I hate the stubble. It all looks bad. But this... I like the armor. I don't like the old man vibe. The old man vibe is a little bit much. This one's not doing it for me, even though I like the armor. Yeah, I'm not sure. It just doesn't... Derp says smash, of course. Any emo adjacent goth boy, bang.
The sheep in wolf's clothing from Niji-san GN.
Okay. Cloaked smash. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it just looks like another like a K-pop boy. Again, I contrast that with the one I always mention. Scroll. Golly. Where is it?
Lone Syndicate said, looks like you're trying to go for a Dante from DMC sort of
yeah,
look.
No.
I give him a 5.
Yeah, so this to me, this is, at least for me, this is our canonical 10, okay? It's super interesting. It doesn't have to be, like, gorgeous. It's just a very provocative thought. It's like almost like a something that you're like, you immediately have questions about. Like, what the fuck is this? An orc salaryman VTuber? What the hell is that? And you check it out, and it's just a wholesome guy who looks gigantic and is all that stuff, you know? That's kind of our baseline for 10 as far as, like, what we're scaling off of. Like, oh, I would pause and ask a question, like, what's that? Whereas this dude... Albeit, I like the Dante vibe. It doesn't really have that, like, makes me question. It just looks like a guy who's like a cool Japanese assassin man, you know? I'd give it a 6, because it's kind of interesting. The armor is something I don't see a lot of. You always see, like, designed clothing and not armor. Yeah, for me, it's a 6. Nog says, is he supposed to be a robo-vamp? It looks like it, maybe. Vampire with a robot arm sounds like a plot
Gnawing
for
Fetus
an
said looks like a robotic vamp.
interesting comic.
I'd say 4. Seen to many emo vamps and cybernetic pretty blah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if he had like a giant-ass, clearly robotic arm, like a giant orb or some shit, that would be a little more like, oh, fuck, I can clearly tell he's a cyborg, you know what I mean? Okay. Here we go. First of all, she's tan. And she's fucking buff. I appreciate both of these things. She is supposed to, I think, to be a horse, though. That's to throw me off, I'll be honest. But,
Lone Syndicate said she's ripped.
She is ripped. She is fucking giga jacked. She is giga insane. Insane buff. It's kind of hard because we judging. Yeah, let's just one. It's just one thing. It's too much to judge. This is better. This to me, okay. First of all, points for being jacked. It stands out in a big way.
Said horse girl.
Horse girl. Yeah, it stands out. She's jacked. That's something.
McFlufferkin said Tomo Umari, Native American horse girl of the USA. Her slogan is "Amare who can."
Ooh, I'm biased already. But I will say, outside of the tan skin and the horse ears and the buff body, I like it. Looks the color palette's appealing. Like she's tanned with like this kind of grayish, not grayish, sorry, like greenish skin pigment type of beige coat. So it all like kind of works together. I don't know.
Lone Syndicate said I give another 7 for the fact that horsewomen I don't see
That's
often,
true.
so it's kind of unique.
That's kind of, I agree. But would you pause? Would you notice the like horse ears and not just assume it's like? I feel like in my head I'd be like.
G-Red said I give it an 8.
I feel like in my head I would just be like, it's another anthropomorphic character on a scroll. But it is the tan skin does catch my eye. I think I would go with a 7 personally. It's good. It could be better because everything works style wise as far as like color. Like nothing's super bright. It all kind of fades and works together, but also it doesn't make anything stand out, which is kind of a knock against it. But the things that are there, which is like the fucking jacked and all that stuff, to me, make it a little bit better. Red says 8. Also, what's good, Red? 8. Derp says 2.
Nine Fetus said I'd say 7. I like the white hair tuft.
Yeah, you like to wear the white hair? Yeah, it's cute.
Lone Syndicate said, would I stop EHHH maybe if I noticed the horse features, but
If she was a centaur, I'm about to say. Derp's like, make it a horse. And make it more horse, and I'm locked in. I'm happy with our reply on that. It's a 7 to like 8 to 9 range. Most 7 to 8.
G-Red said yay, super late lol. Was playing Cyberpunk.
Got it. I'm happy you're enjoying the game. This one... That one to me is exactly this is a 1 for me, boys. I apologize. This is a -1. It looks so... I do like her cheeky little smile. That's the only like point of neatness. But it's... I would scroll past. I'm sorry, but it's just... Maybe this one's better. That one's a little bit more cute. I like that one a little bit more. Let's judge this one. I like the little fucking thing on the head. It's cute, little tiny little bird monster thing. The hair is weird. It's like disheveled.
Lone Syndicate said I give a 2 for twin tail supremacy.
Yeah, let's judge this one. Let's not judge the previous one. I think that's old one. What's this one? This one's the one we're judging. I like the face, like the hair. I like the messy hair. That looks rad. But everything below the neck is, to me, not.
McFlufferkin said Dokibird, infectious laugh, loves Apex Legends, possibly actually a tomato.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but
G-Red said this is 0 for me.
Really? Nothing? Dang, boys. Derp says both are mid. Oh no. Yeah. I like it, but it's just because I enjoy like the childhood friend vibe, and I feel like that's what this one is. So I'd say for me, it's this one at least is. I'd say it's a 6. Not 2. I wouldn't pause probably, but I would be like, oh, that's neat, and then I would scroll again. But if it happened 4 times, I'd be like, okay, maybe. All right, now this is probably one of the better examples, at least for me, a goddamn 8.5. There is so much going on. Ha! Derp says cries in pain. This, I'm biased with this one. This is motherfucking Zentrea, okay? First of all...
McFlufferkin said, look at the spoiler first.
Oh. Maybe a tomato? Got it. Got it. I feel like we should judge this one, not the dragon one, because this is her most iconic one. I have seen a lot of techno cyberpunk stuff. It's not very exciting, but it's the whole package that to me makes it stand out in a big way. And yeah, I'm also biased. I don't feel like I can properly give an opinion with this one. I've watched this YouTuber highlights for far too long, like clips.
G-Red said okay. Well, no skin, but nice and shapely. Lol.
Yes.
7.
Gnawing Fetus said I'd say 8. Death makes me stop and think.
Yep.
Lone Syndicate said, I know it's Zen, she's 8.5. I like her new model a lot. That one I give a 9.
Yeah. I'd agree with you. I'd say probably to me it's an 8.
Derpenschnoffe said, you can never complain that I'm saying smash ever again.
What you mean? What do you mean? Oh, first of all, I never complained. I just acknowledged that it was being said. Yeah, we're not gonna judge her other models because, frankly, I think they're all pretty good. Yes. What is this? 2 more, and then we're done, okay? This one's a -5 for me. I like the colored eyes, but otherwise to me, it's the blue and the black don't happen. Don't work for me. It's boring. And I shouldn't say boring, that's rude. It's again, what we're judging is, like, would you pause and, like, check out what the fuck's happening? Zentrea's got enough weird shit going on.
Lone Syndicate said I give a 0.
Yeah, I'm not, it's just too much meh happening. I don't know. 2. Really? Derp's all over the place. Derp says 8. That yellow shine, you want the 8? Okay. I'd say this one to be, so you'd pause, Derp. You'd pause and, like, check out the stream. 8 to me is, like, a pretty strong...
said Sayu Synchronicity, indie, lover of Genshin and similar gacha games. Cyber Donkey Girl.
I could not pick that up from a mile away. Donkey? Because of this? The pointy, like, space things? That's wild. That is, like... Yeah. That is, like, a sin to say that's a donkey. I like the ear. Really? Oh, I find the ear. I couldn't even tell it's a donkey. I thought it was, like, some cool cyberpunk shit. I drink water again. My fucking voice is destroyed. Probably a 5. The ears and the bands are, yeah. To me, I'm not a fan of this one. I would say it's a -4. I would not look for more than 2 seconds, and, like, I definitely wouldn't click on it. But hey, guys, I'll be honest. This one's an 8 for me immediately. I will not elaborate. Okay. Jesus. The abs are on full display, first of all. And dude, the scars are fucking lit, okay? The scars are badass. The face is a little bit,
G-Red said 4.
4? Really? Oh, fuck, I think the scars are rad and the abs are crazy. She also, I think, is a fucking snow leopard, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe she's like a goat. I don't know what the horn things are throwing me off. But... to me, that's the green makes her stand out a lot. The tan skin stands out quite a bit. The face, I feel like, is fucked up, but it's like the most uninteresting part of it. The eyes could be much brighter. She does have some, like, what's it called, freckles. So there is that. But yes, this to me stands out in a big way. This, like, I would immediately be like, holy fuck, what is that? Jesus. Yeah, the face, it's fucked up. It's crazy. This is, like, the best example of confusion because, like, the face is probably the most uneventful of all of it.
Said she got a damn 8-pack. I want to rest my head on those things. And she dark skinned. She got scars. Face EHH solid 6.5.
6.5.
McFlufferkin said Sansan, really relaxing voice, single mother and teacher.
Oh.
Had some of the best face tracking in the VTuber space until more recently.
Ooh, nice. Red says 4. Eee. -6 because of the pants. The pants are a little bit low, right? I don't like the pants being that low either, but hey. What is it, also? Is it a snake? I don't know what it is. Yeah, for me, guys, this is definitely an 8. I like the look of it. I specifically like the look of, like, the, what do you call it? Again, the fucking, like, the body is crazy. Like, the details on the skin textures and shit is wild. The abs are wild. But also, I haven't seen like fucking any person, and this is one of my things like I really enjoy. I think it looks like it stands out and makes you look like a fucking badass warrior and shit. Is scar damage. Maybe people think it looks gross, but to me, I think it looks fucking rad. Especially if you're making a character that's fucking jacked. Like it makes sense that this character's a warrior type or whatever the fuck it is. You know, it immediately tells a story about something. So that to me is cool. I really enjoy the weird the weird parachute
Lone
thing.
Syndicate
like the
said
pants.
now that Red mentions it, I give her a 5.
Yeah, for me it's an 8 because I don't hate the pants. I don't like them, but I do like this part. Like my favorite part is this because it just looks crazy. Also stuff I haven't seen a lot. But yes, also different outfit. Okay, what about this one? That's not what you're gonna get though. But that one to me seems really rad. That one to me I think is a 9. But I might be showing my cards too. Oh, she's a dragon. I see. That's what it is. A dragon tail. Got it. Yeah. To me, that's a 9. This could be a very specific deep cut. I know what this one is. But yeah, you guys don't disagree. Oh wow, Derp agrees.
G-Red said IMO, maybe remove once pant leg exposing a leg, then I'd like the pants.
Yeah, maybe the pant leg. Yeah, that'd be a good way to fix it. That's a luck. I'm about to say this is like cheating. This one is crazy. This one is wow. But finally, me and Derp agree on something. An 8. I believe she's a dragon. One of the fuzzier variety. Gotcha.
Lone Syndicate said, I will say the top half got me, then you lose me in the second half. Now this one's solid 7.
Solid 7. More casual outfit is cute. I'm about to say this one is much more enjoyable. Ha, ladies and gentlemen, we could do another one, but that's where we'll call it. Hot diggity damn, that was a motherfucking stream. Red says 9. Hell yes. I'm about to say this is fire to me. I like the colors, the white. It all looks nice. But ladies and gentlemen, that was the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with me once again. Oh right, I forgot. But don't forget my Lone uploaded some art. Let's check it out real quick. Art tab. Also, this is Derp's character. Oh, it's so fucking cool. It's like a little rabbit. Also, this is the art that Lone has showed. This is probably the only stage in which we'll be able to show it off because it's going to be a lot of booba and all that. But of course, there's a lot of cleavage, as it tends to be. And also, this is Derp's fucking beautiful art as well. A cute little bunny girl. I love it. I wonder, is this a braid? I think this is the ears, yes, and then she's got her. I like how that's such a fun thing too to think about, like how a bunny girl would style her hair, which got like this pulled back like a ponytail. But I don't know what this is. Is this 2 braids going off down to the side? That makes sense. I like the cute little blush. Yeah, I don't know why. What do you call it? Goddamn bunny girl people are always have like weird pink here on the cheeks. They're all very poor circulation in the face. This is also very cute. I like it a lot. Like the little bunny. The bunny nose, I do think, is semi-cursed though. Like for whatever reason, I get like a Vietnam flashback about what that would look in actuality, and I think it would
McFlufferkin said, "Looks like we've got about 18 VTubers remaining from what I've shared."
We have a lot. We go a mile a minute, baby. Or it takes us a minute to go a mile, I should say. No, it's opposite. It takes us too long to cover stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing your art with me, by the way. I think it looks beautiful and fantastic. And I love you when you guys share.
Lone Syndicate said, don't see actually bunny girls like that, so I like this.
Use it as inspiration to make my own weird endeavors, whether it's YouTube or whatever. But ladies and gentlemen, she's my small girl. That's super cute. Is she a part of the story that you're writing, or is she just a character you design? Both are awesome, but... looks like we're gonna be having cute why she's sad. I'm not sure. Oh, the bunny girl, I mean? One last thing just to kind of beat a dead horse dead. Once again, next week we'll be starting with doing the Monster Hunter beta unless some shit goes wrong. Then we'll be leading into the month of streaming every single day except for Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We stream today at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and for me right now it is 4 p.m. or 4:13 p.m. So yes, then the next week will be Skyrim VR. God help me, I can figure that out. Then after that, we'll be wishing on Wuthering Waves. We'll be a little bit behind. People will probably have already gotten Camilla. Hoping she's also coming our way, because godly, I don't want to fucking, yeah. And then we'll be ending our month thing doing probably the most interesting thing, which is doing an Elden Ring playthrough. Playthrough is a strong word. We're going to be playing Elden Ring, the first-person mod, and just suffering until we succeed. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is our plan for our month of streaming.
McFlufferkin said keep the pace of 6 at a time. We'll have 3 more streams to complete it.
That won't be bad. That won't be bad. Especially with us doing, well, yeah, we'll see. I don't promise anything, but yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I can see you once again. And yes, next time we see each other, it'll be a non-stop barrage of your boy. Which, by the way, just want to throw this out there. I am entirely expecting for one of those streams to be dead silent, like no one to be around, because I get it. It's a lot of me for a month straight. It's too much. But I'll hold true because a part of this is just an endurance battle anyway, to see if I can mickety manage, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I can see you next Thursday, where we'll be playing some Monster Hunter Wilds. So hopefully I can see you then. And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day. Also, shit! Fuck, shit, wait, did you guys leave yet? Can I ask you guys for help? One last thing, for the 2 people still here, maybe. Where is it? Out of all the... Oh, God, why did that go over there? There. All right. What image do you think looks better? This guy or this one? Maybe I should make it smaller. Out of these 3 images, this... I'm trying not to show it very big so that it doesn't, like... So you guys can't see... Yeah, because the thumbnails won't be this big when you see them. They'll be probably about that big. A little bit less. This one, or this one? I don't know. I never leave, says Fluff. Ooh. Not all of us are good. 3. Okay, I should probably... Okay, this is 1.
Lone Syndicate said third one.
Okay, this is 1. This is 2. No, sorry. This is 1. This is 2. And this is 3. But again, it'll be smaller. So I feel like this is a trap because this one's detailed. I don't think you'll be able to see. There is the goddamn thing. Oh, I fucked up my placement. God damn it. Yeah. Okay. Red says 1. So 1. We got 1. What's good, Yuki? Yuki also says 1. 3 says not. So 1. Everyone says 1. So you want this one. You think this one's better than this one? I kind of agree. Okay, so it's a choice between this one or this one. So this is 1. This is 2. I think I may change it on you guys. 1 or 2? 1 or 2. It's the best farming and easy to tell that it's a thumbnail. 2. So Lone says 2. Fluff says 1.
Gnawing Fetus said the second now.
Second. Okay, so now it's 2. Mad yes says 2. Thank you. And okay, so we got 2 2s. We got 3 2s. We got 4 2s. And 2 1s. The non-pointing one. Okay, gotcha. So this one's... So, a lot of people like 2. They like the pointing one. Whatever one isn't pointing. Okay, so some people like the pointing one, some people don't like it. How about this? I'll upload all 3, which I'll upload this one, and this one, and then we'll see which one is... This one's also a little more zoomed in, I think. That's why I made that one. I don't know. Anyways, not the pointing one says. Maybe I should just say that. Pointing or no pointing? The hand frame, the eye better. Pointing changes the order. Yeah, non-pointing one. The non-pointing one. Try the frame from span. Okay, so non-pointing one seems to be more consistent now. I believe we all want the non-pointing one. Okay, so not pointing one. This one that's just like, got it. Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry, I have a video I might upload soon, and I might also save it for Monday. Sorry. But, appreciate you guys helping me with that. I always like to give you guys, gauge that and etc. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you kindly for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and yes, there'll be a video talking a lot about VR in the Mind Palace Madness channel if you're so interested in that, either today, or tomorrow, or Monday. I might just make it Monday, so I'm good. Anyways, see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Bye.